சிறப்பு. ஆடியோ கேக்குது சார். ஆடியோ கேக்குது. Okay, so hi guys, welcome everyone to Global Azure Bootcamp 2020 Virtual. So this is basically like it's a virtual GAB 2020 event, so conducted by TechMeet360 community. So just give us, I want to give a small intro about TechMeet360. Basically, TechMeet360 is an community initiative by Covey.co. Basically, we will explore about and we will share about Microsoft technologies like Azure, Visual Studio, Visual Studio.NET, C Sharp, and also we'll explore some things in integration space and also in Angular, etc. So we will conduct events every month once in Coimbatore, and also we'll conduct events in Chennai or Bangalore, maybe 6 months once, something like that. So that's the power. That's about TechMe360, and also we have some blogs in TechMe360 which will be helpful for you to explore some good knowledge on Microsoft technologies. So moving on to the next slide, it's about Global Azure Virtual 2020. So what is Global Azure Virtual? It's like an so basically it started in 2010, I guess, and the GAB event started off with many cities, around 300 plus cities around the world, and TechMe360 is being conducting events from the first edition of GAB. And this time, because of this COVID-19 issue, it went as a virtual event. So it's the first edition of Global Azure Virtual, and as you see, it has around 234 speakers and 305 sessions live by the actual GAB event. In TechMe360, we thought we would bring it as a local event for Coimbatore people, and also for virtual, it can be a virtual event such as like anyone can join and learn. So this is about Global Azure Virtual, and as I said, we are conducting these events from the first edition, and these are some of the pictures that I want to share with you guys from 2017, 2018, and 2019. So we are continuously organizing GAB for these years, and this month also we are going. This is a live one, and we are just trying out some new things, conducting this kind of community initiatives. And we also do some events in integration space. So that's another event called Global Integration Bootcamp, which is conducted across the world at the same date. So we were conducting this from the first edition, and these are some of the pictures I want to share, such that you can know like we are doing it from many years, and we will continue to do it for the upcoming years as well. So the next slide is about like integrate 2020. So COVID.co being an community initiative. So as you see, uh, this is a remote event. We will conduct this event every year in UK. But due to this COVID issue, we are taking this as a remote event. You can go and register. As you see, the dates are from 1st to 3rd June of 2020. It's 12 p.m. to 7 p.m. So it's a 3-day virtual remote event where you have speakers from Microsoft. Microsoft, and all the speakers are from good standards, and you can get more knowledge on the integration space, what's happening in Azure, and logic apps, service queues, topics, and whatnot. So it will be very useful for your event. You can search for Integrate 2020 Remote, and you can register it if you are interested. So that's it. That's it about the community. As you see, so these are the this is the thing I want to share with you guys about TechMe360, as well as some of the events that we are doing it for the past years. Uh, so the first session is about like it's an introduction to Azure. So I want to share with you guys like what is Azure, and why you have to use Azure, and how can you use it, and we are going to see some basic terminologies, and we are going to explore about Azure. So if you have any questions, like you can just ask it in the YouTube chat. I'll able to answer it. Yeah. Before going on to the session, so this is a small introduction slide about myself. So I'm Suhas Parmeshwara. I'm working as a full stack web application developer at Covey.co around 2+ years. So I'm a part of Atomic Scope and BizTalk360 team, and also I write blogs at TechMe360.com. So I write about Visual Studio, Azure, and Angular, C Sharp, etc. You can also visit blog and support me. And if you want to reach out in Facebook and Twitter, my handle is ng suhas, and in LinkedIn is it's Suhas Parmeshwara. So to know more about me, you can visit my portfolio suhas.ninja. So don't ask me why I kept that name, because it's just a free domain I got it, so I just kept it. So this is a small introduction about me before jumping on to the actual topic. Okay, so we are going to explore the main three important keywords. So what, why, and how. So whenever you learn a technology or any other thing, these three keywords are the main thing you want to go through. So what is that? Why should I use that? And how can I use that efficiently in my project? So these three things will help you to get started off with your respective technology at ease. So we are going to see one by one. So what is Azure? Why should we have to use Azure, and how it can be used in your projects, or how it can get started off with Azure, something like that. Okay. So what is Microsoft Azure? So most of the companies are building SaaS products and want to have their infrastructure on the cloud. There are various cloud platforms involving each and every day. So Microsoft mark their footprint on the cloud with the help of Azure. Azure is an cloud computing service developed by Microsoft for building, testing, deploying, managing apps and services through Microsoft managed data centers. So it is an open, flexible enterprise computing platform, and it provides different kinds of services such as SaaS, PaaS, IaaS, and etc. And the main important thing is pay as you go model. So that's the main thing I want to share about Azure. So you have to pay only for what you use basically. So creation of resource, maybe you won't get charged too much, but when you use it only, like it will be calculated the pricing. So that's how Azure works. So these are the main three things. Basically, it's an cloud computing platform, and it has various resources which will be helpful for automating your business process, or automating. It will be very useful in your in business level applications or enterprise applications to automate stuff. And there are a lot of resources, around 300, or I think, I'm not sure, basically 1,000 plus good resources in Azure to make your business process more effective. So just to share some history of Microsoft Azure, so where it all began basically. So Azure started off with the project name called Project Red Dog, but after some time they want to have a professional name for it, like and they went for Windows Azure. So they released their first version on February 1, 2020, and as you see, in October 28, it has some fast CDP.NET Medium, and in March 2009, it has the .NET Full Trust certification and native code. And in May 2009, the Azure brings up the storage thing and the SDK and the tools for supporting .NET version. And as you see, it keeps on evolving till 2009 and 2010. As you see, Azure goes live. So that's where the Azure 2010 was the first footprint of Azure in the entire world. So that's the point where Azure comes into picture, and it pitches off like an shooting rocket in these 10 years, and it has been a great growth for Microsoft Azure. And in Feb 2010, so that was the first payments for Windows Azure devices. And later in 2014, they changed their name from Windows to Microsoft, and they provide a good platform for all .NET services, SQL databases, etc. And each and every day, it's getting bigger and better. So as of now, they mark their footprints around 58 regions worldwide and 140 available in countries regions. So just in 10 years, like they are growing as a very good company, and also they are growing it as a very good cloud computing platform, and it basically became a good competitor with AWS. So Amazon Web Services was like ruling the cloud till 2008 and 2005. But when Azure came in, it became a strong competition with AWS in these 10 years. And you cannot say now it's AWS or Azure. I'm not sure basically. But before 10 years, I can say it's AWS. But in these 10 years after 2010 to 2020, Azure is becoming more powerful day by day. As you see, more than 95% of Fortune 500 companies use Azure, like 30 plus years, over 3 decades of experience, and 68,000 plus partners. Yeah, that's a big number. I know. As you see, BMW, Toshiba, Coca-Cola, Samsung. So there are a lot of companies using Azure, and there are around 70 plus certifications. Compliance offering they are using in cloud service, and which will increase your security of your respective application. So Azure is becoming better and bigger day by day. So definitely you can explore about Azure. So these are some of the points I want to share in what is Azure. So the next thing I want to share is like why Microsoft Azure. So why should you go for Microsoft Azure? The first point is end-to-end security. The security process was developed based upon the industry-leading secure process, which is known as software development lifecycle. So based upon this lifecycle, Azure provides you for more secure platform to store and access your data. It's the most trusted platform by US government institutions. Yeah, know that point basically. And also your data is safe in the cloud, even if a natural disaster occurs. So, Azure is always on and it's one of the most securest platform. Analytics, the next point is analytics and intelligence capabilities. Based upon the data available in Azure, you should be able to get an statistics out of it. Let's say you store your data in Azure SQL. It helps you to uncover the key insights based upon the data available to improve your business process. There are various services available such as application insights, data explorer, Azure cognitive service, etc. Based upon the service, you should be able to analyze your data. The next thing is cost effective. Cost effective is like, let's take a scenario where you need create a server for your own project, and you need to hire a team and manage and support the activities that should be done on the respective server. As the customer account increases, you need to buy another server. So this is basically a nightmare. So as the number of users increases, you need to build your own infrastructure, and everything is serverless nowadays, and you have to go for some cloud computing platform. So this would be tiring, and since we have cloud now, why should we build our own server? All the maintenance and management of the server will be taken care of Azure. You just have to build and deploy. So that's it. Just build it, deploy it, and Azure takes care of all your server downtime and server scaling up, etc. Work from anywhere. Yeah, since Azure is a cloud platform, you should be able to use it anywhere and everywhere around the world. You just need the credentials to log in and create your resources at ease. Once you create it, you can manage them directly in the Azure portal, or else if you're smarter, you can go for PowerShell scripts. Yeah, that's my favorite to automate something in Azure. You can create VMs or create logic apps and whatnot using PowerShell script. So basically, I use PowerShell to automate something in Azure or deploy something in Azure. And also, it has an Android APK. You can download it from Play Store, and you can do some basic operations like start-stop VMs, start-stop logic app, and you can able to view the Azure resources. So basically, it helps you to work from anywhere. Easy to implement. You can easily integrate your business models with Azure. It's very simple to get started off with Azure. You just need some small amount of mouse clicks and you are good to go. Just give your credit card details, and it will take initially around ₹2, I guess. And whenever you create a resource, as I said, it's pay as you go model. You have to pay only for what you use. And hybrid capabilities. Azure has the power of providing hybrid capabilities, which is very unique when compared to other cloud providers. It provides you various hybrid connections, VMs, virtual networks, etc. Using these hybrid capabilities, you can improve your business process, and also you can improve your productivity. The main important thing I want to share is identity and access management. Azure provides IAM capabilities through Azure Active Directory. Yeah, such that the right information will be shown to the right users. They provide a lot of user access policies, which will be very useful to manage your Azure environments. There are a lot of user access policies. Azure portal is totally safe. You can share with your respective people in your organization, and it can be managed appropriately. So these are the main key things I want to share. So these are the main points, like why you have to go for Microsoft Azure. So this is what I was talking about. So you can see basically this is not the whole list. So these are some of the important services provided by Azure. So Active Directory, App Service, Azure App. So there are a lot of services coming in. Basically, these services So you cannot use all your services in your business, right? You can use it, but basically some of the services which will be very useful for your business process or for your application. So you can just explore it, and you can just pick out the right resource from Azure, and you can able to automate, or you can improve your application processing. So these are some of the services provided by Azure, and it's getting the list is getting bigger and better day by day. Okay, so that's it about what is Azure and why Azure and how it can be used. Like you can go to azure.com and Microsoft Azure, and you can just sign up using your credit card, and you can just get started off with using it. So that is very simple. The next thing I want to share with you guys is like some 5 Azure services that every developer should know. So after exploring Azure, like many of them have doubts, like what are the service I want to know, so like what are the service I can get started off with initial steps. So these are some of the things I would suggest before going on to explore any other apps. So the first thing is app service, function apps, Azure storage, Cosmos DB, and application insights. So these are the some of the 5 key services that every developer should know. So as I said, the first thing is App Insights. Azure App Service helps you to quickly build, deploy, and scale web apps, mobile apps, or API apps created with popular frameworks such as .NET Core, Node.js, Java, PHP, Ruby, or Python. So it supports all kind of frameworks or languages. It also provides you a fully managed platform where you can monitor, manage, get operational insights of your apps, etc. Logic apps is one of the most powerful workflow which can be used to automate most of the stuff. So that's my favorite one. I'll also show you a demo like how we can build a logic app and what's the actual use of it. It's very powerful workflow. So it also increases the developer productivity with advanced capabilities such as continuous integration, live-site debugging, Visual Studio, and Visual Studio Code IDEs. You can able to deploy your web application directly from Visual Studio. So I'll also show you a demo how it can be done. You can deploy your web apps from Visual Studio directly into Azure portal. Don't have to worry about the downtime of your website. Yeah, that's the main thing I want to share. So you don't have to worry about the downtime. So Azure will automatically take care of it. And also, if there are more number of users, there is an option called auto scaling. So you can enable it in the Azure portal. So whenever your website slows down, the scaling will automatically picks up, and it will be engaged by the users. And if there's a downtime, and also portal provides you some awesome diagnostics and monitoring integration where you can get a full insight of your respective web application or mobile application, etc. So the next thing is function apps. Function apps allows you to do event-driven execution of HTTP, queues, databases, etc. Basically, function apps contain some functions which can be useful to do simple jobs such as cleaning up the database, or it can also manage complex operations. Azure functions became more powerful with the help of durable function concept. It allows you to execute 2 or more Azure functions in a parallel mechanism. Yeah, Azure function is a kind of thing like in AWS you have Lambda functions, right? So something like that in Azure we have Azure functions, and also durable functions is like you can execute parallel kind of function. Let's say I want to run 2 functions parallelly. I can go for durable functions. And Azure functions should contain only a simple logic and not a complex logic, basically. And the next thing I want to share is Azure Storage. Azure Storage allows you to manage and scale a teams. It provides you different storage such as blob. Blob is an object and file storage via an HTTPS URL, and tables. It is a NoSQL key value data, and queues. It is used to store messages and work items. And the last thing is files. It's just a general files. You can share excessive amount of file shares, and also you don't have to worry about the database backup. So that's the main thing I want to share in this Azure storage. There's an option available where it will be automatically replicated, and it will be backed up by every day. And also you can able to clean it up, and you can also take it as a backup whenever you want. You can also use geo-replication if you want to replicate your data based upon the locations available. So let's say I want to replicate the data for Coimbatore region and Coimbatore region database, and I can able to do it using the geo-replication option, which is available in Azure portal. So the next thing is like Cosmos DB. So Azure Cosmos DB is Microsoft's globally distributed multi-model database service. It enables you to elastically and independently scale throughput and storage across any number of Azure regions worldwide. Some of the key benefits of using Azure Cosmos DB are turnkey global distribution, and it's always on, elastic scalability of throughput and storage, no schema or index management, and secure by default and enterprise ready. And it has significant total cost of ownership savings, and it's globally distributed operational analytics and AI. It has some cool analytics. Let's say your database is being searched by a keyword regularly, and you can able to see that in the Azure portal. So you can manage Cosmos DB with Azure Cosmos DB extension available in Visual Studio Code. So that's the main thing. If you use VS Code, you can connect Azure Cosmos DB in VS Code, and you can able to manage some operations in directly in VS Code rather than going to Visual Studio, rather than going to Azure portal. Or else you can also use PowerShell script, as I said. So it's my favorite. It uses familiar APIs and query languages such as SQL, Table, MongoDB, and Gremlin. And the last thing is like application insight. So this is very much powerful. It provides you application performance management service for developers and DevOps professionals. It will be very useful to monitor your Azure applications. It will automatically detect performance anomalies, if any, and includes powerful analytics tools that helps you to identify the issues. It runs rich diagnostics across the data collector, and it will provide you the most accurate results. It monitors the following metrics: request rates, response times, and failure rates, dependency rates, response times, and failure rates, exceptions, page views and alert performance, and AJAX calls. Yeah, AJAX calls from web pages can be monitored, user and session counts, performance counters, host diagnostics, diagnostic trace logs, and custom events and metrics. So these are some of the rich diagnostic performance which will be available in application insights. So this makes Azure very much powerful. If you deploy an web application in your Azure, like you can enable application insights, and you will be able to start tracking the performance of your respective web app. So these are the main five things I want to share. Basically, the 5 important services that every developer should know. First is, as I said, app service. The second one is function apps. Third one is Azure storage, and fourth one is Cosmos DB, and the fifth one is application insights. Okay, so I'll show you some demo like about logic apps and storage and how you can deploy things. So let me jump on to a demo. Okay. So let me close this one. So I'm going to create an .NET Core web application using Visual Studio. So I have already, so I'm using Visual Studio 2019. So if you want free edition, you can go for Visual Studio Community Edition. So it's totally free. So I'm currently using Enterprise Edition. So I'm selecting ASP.NET Core web application, and I'm clicking yes. So I'm going to give a name called TechMeet360 demo. And then I'm going to create this web app, and I'm selecting web application, and I'm creating it. So I'm currently using .NET Core 3.1.1 for creating this web application. So when I okay, let us build this application. Okay. So I'm going to build this application. So just to confirm if there are any errors. Yeah, it's a new project. I know it won't be any, but just to be careful. Okay, so this should be fine. And I'm going to run this application in IIS just to show you the layout, guys. So this is some default layout provided by a .NET Core web application. Okay, so this is some default web page. As you see, home page, TechMeet360 demo, but it's running in my local site. So I have to host it in Azure. So how it can be done using Visual Studio? Let me stop this application, and if I go to Solution Explorer, if I right click on this, there will be an option called Publish. If I click Publish, like it shows me Azure App Service. So basically, you have to create an app service plan to host an web application. So you can say create new, but create new takes some time, around 2 minutes. So I'm just going to select existing because I already have a service deployed in my Azure. So I'm going to say create profile. and I'm going to select this web app service I have in Azure, and I'm going to just say OK. So it's preparing and just publish. So that's it. So I have selected the web app service and I just click publish. Now my website is actually publishing in the in this domain as you see. So web application some number dot azure websites dot net. So it can be editable. So you can able to edit your domain based upon your need. I think it will take some time. So as you see, it's a very simple guys. So you can just create a web application. You can do some changes to your respective site, and you can just say right click publish, and that's it. So within 2 minutes, like you can publish your web app to Azure at ease. Okay, I think it has been published. So as you see, Azure websites .net. You can also map your custom domain with this. Let's say you want to have something yourname.com. You can also able to change this URL. I think you have to pay some more amount for that custom domain, but the default is Azure websites.net. So I can able to access this domain from in mobile app or any other thing. Basically, it is hosted, so I don't have to worry about the downtime or scaling up or any other thing. Azure will take care of the thing automatically. So if I go to my Azure and let me go to that respective resource group. So basically in Azure, the concept is like we have an account and we have some subscription. A subscription contains a resource groups. A resource group will have the respective resource you want. So let me select my resource group and web app test. So this is a resource group, and I have my app service plan created here. So this is where my app is currently running. So as you see, there are a lot of options available: monitoring insights, alerts, diagnostic settings. So if I go to insights, so it will give me some data about like total resources, etc. And if I go to respective so if I go to respective app service, so I can also configure authentication and authorization and application insights. So this is what I was talking about. You can turn on application insights. It will show you some interesting diagrams for your workflow. You have to give some details before doing it. You can just configure it. It will be very helpful for you to monitor your respective website. So this is how you host it from Visual Studio. So you have to just create a web app service plan in portal, or you can also just create it. So I'll also show you that window how it looks. So I'll just click publish. So let me close this one and say publish. Okay, since I have already published, I cannot able to show the screen. You can also select create new web app service from Visual Studio, and it will ask you the resource group name, and you can able to select the resource group and subscription ID, and you can able to create the respective things from Visual Studio. So this is a very simple demo. The next thing I want to show you is like I guess Logic app. So this is my favorite thing basically. So let me choose this connector when a new tweet is posted. So you have to so basically this logic app say someone tweets about TechMeet360 or Global Azure. I want to get an email. So that can be done. So let me give some password. So I'm just logging in with my Twitter account. So it has been authenticated, and I'm going to click continue. So it is asking for a search text. So it can be a hashtag or a username. You can also get it from a username or something like that. So I'm going to just track all the messages which is getting from Global Azure, and it will check for interval. You can also check it for one minute or 50 seconds. You can also choose the interval based upon your need. So whenever a new tweet is posted, you can so I need to get a mail, so I can use the Gmail connector, and I'm going to say send email. So basically you have to sign into your respective Gmail account, for this connector. So there are a lot of connectors: Facebook, Twitter, Gmail, Outlook, Google Drive, OneDrive, etc. So there are a lot of connectors available, which will be very useful for your respective for your automation. Basically, Logic App is used to automate your stuff. And also, as you see, I didn't write a single piece of code. So that's the main thing of Logic App. You don't have to write a single piece of code. It's just a designer. You just have to click some. You have to do some authentication, and you can just go off using Logic App. So this will be very useful for support people as well if they want to do automate things. This will be a very useful thing. Yeah, so it is asking me to, so I'm going to give my email ID, and I'm going to say body. Yeah, so I can type something. So this is the body of the output email. So whenever a new tweet is posted with the hashtag Global Azure, I'll get a email. So that's the whole thing. So there are a lot of connectors available. As you say, HTTP inline code, functions, API management. You can also trigger a logic app from this logic app. So that's also possible. And for each condition and etc. and whatnot, there are a lot of connectors to explore. Logic app is one of my favorite workflow to automate things. And also there's another thing called flow. I think flow.microsoft.com, I guess. Yeah, so basically this is the same thing which is like a kind of logic app. Logic app is used for enterprise. This flow is used for like say for personal things. So that's the simple difference, but it almost looks the same. So I'm going to say my flow and new create from template. So this is the same thing which we have seen in the logic app. So I'm going to say Twitter. So say tweets that include say to SharePoint list. As you see, this is the same thing. And if I click continue, so it will show me the respective the same workflow, the search text, the create item. So it's the same thing as in a logic app. Basically, the flow is used for personal stuff, and logic app is used for enterprise level workflows. Okay, so I think we have seen this thing and this one. Okay, and the next thing I want to show is about storage. So for storage, like you have to create a storage account, a sample storage, some you have to give a name for it. A storage account contains a container, file share, tables, and queues. A container is something it will contain something like you can store your text file or MSI file or something like that, and you will get a link for download this thing. It will create a blob link for you, and you can able to download it from this container. And let me go to home, and it has some file shares you can able to share using the serverless SMB file share. You can able to just drop a file, and the file can be shared with respective IP. And it also have some tables, so it is a table data storage like NoSQL, something similar to NoSQL. These are tables like you can use it for your enterprise application for storage and retrieving purpose. And queues, it will be very effectively used for scaling your apps according to traffic. Let's say it will be queued your request, and it will perform some operation based upon the queuing mechanism. So uh, it won't allow you to lose the request or response from the respective user. So these are some of the main storage things: containers, file shares, tables, and queues. So as you see, I'm getting some charts, cool charts to view about the performance of my storage, and also I can able to filter it based upon my need. So, and also you can create VMs. As I said, you can create your own VMs, and I can able to access it using some DNS name. I can also able to configure it anywhere from this domain, and you can also use a subscription for it. So if I copy this and if I open it in a separate thing, okay. So because the VM has not been started, if it's in a start state, I can able to access it, etc. So these are some of the things I want to share with you guys. And Azure portal will be very cool to automate your cloud computing things, and it will be very useful for you. So if you have any questions, like you can drop it in YouTube channel, like I can able to answer it. I think I am done. I'm done with my session. Yeah. So if you have any questions, like you can just drop in YouTube. So we'll wait for just 2 to 3 minutes for your questions. Okay. Okay. So I don't see any questions. So I think we are good to go. So basically, in this session, I hope the key takeaway would be like you would have understand about like what is Azure, and we have seen about why Azure, the main key things, and how we can deploy a web application from Visual Studio, and how to create a logic app, or how to what are the basic things in Azure storage. But there are a lot of things you are need to explain. So it's just 1% I have showed you basically. So there are around 99% left, and it's up to you. It's up to you. Like you have to explore and learn about Azure. And if you ask me whether Azure is good, or AWS is good, or Google Cloud is good, so I don't have an answer basically. But based upon your requirement, you just have to explore. Just you come with your requirement, and analyze the respective resource on Azure or cloud, or in AWS, and come up with a chart with pricing, performance, usage. The main thing is pricing, and also the auto scaling. So whenever my resource is down, what's happening, and how Azure or AWS or cloud is taking care, something like that. Just come up with a chart, analyze it, and choose the right resource at the right time with the right pricing. So that's what I would like to say. And so thank you everyone. So thank you for your cooperation, and thanks for spending your time in this weekend, for supporting TechMeet360. So keep supporting, guys, and yeah, I would like to say stay safe and stay home. Thank you everyone.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for first of all, thanks for joining today our session. Today I'm going to talk about how to host serverless static websites in Azure. So we have different ways to deploy our web application in Azure. So this is one this concept for only for the static website. We are not updating repeatedly the content. So it's static applications. Once we update and deploy in the cloud, then mostly 1 month or 2 months or 3 months, once we are going to update. So that time we are not choosing the app service plan. So we have another option to deploy our application using the Azure cloud storage. Then so before starting my session, and this is our event hashtag, so you can share your feedback in social media using TechMeet360 and Global Azure hashtags. And if you have any questions, you can post your question in the YouTube live chat also. So I am going to so no more presentation slides for my session. So I am going to directly showing the demo how to deploy the static website in cloud storage account. So 1 minute, I will share my screen. Yeah. So already I log in my Azure portal. So if you are not logged in, then go to the portal.azure.com for login your cloud account, Azure cloud account. So previously Sukas also explained what is cloud storage account. So cloud storage account is very simple. We are going to store our unstructured data. So Azure support different type of data services. So like Azure SQL Server support RDBMS, and Azure Storage is support to unstructured data, and Cosmos DB support NoSQL data. So today our demo, we are going to create one storage account and deploy our static website in that account. So first I'm going to create a storage account. So I'm going to select storage category, then storage account. So here I have, first we need to select our subscription. So already I have selected my subscription, and resource group. So I'm going to choose demo 123 resource group, and here we need to give the storage account name. So I'm going to give global Azure demo. Then we need to choose location. So West US. So I am going to choose Central India, and we have the two type of storage account. One is standard and premium. Now I'm going to choose standard, and we have the different type of storage, and current now I am going to choose storage V2, and just I'm going to create. So once you verify your storage account details and click the create buttons, it take a few minutes. Your storage account will ready. So once the storage account will ready, then we need to enable the static website in this storage account. So before during the creation of storage account, I choose storage account version 2.0. So that one allows to deploy our static websites. So our storage account is ready. So within few seconds our storage account is ready. Then once the storage account is created, then go to the static website option in the category, and just you enable this button and save it. So you will get the primary endpoint here. Then we will laterally we come back and we can take this. This is our static website primary URL. Then once we deploy our static application inside this storage account, then we will access this website. So first I am going to store my once we enable these options, go to the storage explorer here. So this storage explorer gives to access the storage account data. So in blob container, see here we one container is created dollar and web. This is a default container for static websites. Now I'm going to upload my small websites. So already I created one website, small HTML file, index.html file for demo. Just I'm going to upload this HTML file using upload button, and so demo. Here I'm choosing the index.html file here and upload. Upload is done. Then we come back. Sorry. Again we go to the static websites. Then here we need to mention that index dot, this is our first page, so we need to mention index.html and save. Then you can copy this URL and paste and enter. Let me check why it's not happening. Let me check again once again. Storage Explorer. It's working. See, yeah, it's working. So this is very simple demo how to deploy static websites in cloud storage account, because if we use app service plan, we need to pay more. Pay more amount. So compare with this one. So this is reduce our usage cost. So if you are this is mainly for the static content only. If you are building dynamic websites or dynamic web applications, it's not support. So it's only for the static content. So I think that's all my session. If you have any doubts, so thank you everyone for joining this session. Sukas ready?
Okay. Shall I start, Gopal?
Start.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh, so hi guys. Yeah, I am back. So basically, now we are going to see about Azure serverless and the business landscape. So what is serverless? Like how it can be used across our business and how it benefits our business. Something like that. Basically, in Azure, like everything is serverless, and we will see what is that and how it can be used in our business landscape. So what is serverless computing? Yeah, Wikipedia says it's an cloud computing executing model in which the cloud provider runs the server and dynamically manage the allocation of machine resources. So you don't have to worry about anything. You can just build your applications and you don't have to worry about the servers or infrastructures. You can just build your applications faster and eliminating the need to manage infrastructure. So that's the main part. That's the main advantage of serverless computing. You don't have to manage your infrastructure, and also it has some cloud service provider Azure. It will automatically provision, scales, and manages the infrastructure required to run the code. And also it will auto, like as I said, there's an option called auto scale up, and if the number of requests rises, the number of instance of the website increases, and the number of your website will basically won't go to downtime. So serverless computing don't take, so it will take care of all these things. So the next question is, really, does it mean no servers? Not really, but it's like an Tamil movie. Basically, it is இருக்கு ஆனா இல்ல இருக்கிறதே வேற மாதிரி இருக்கு. So something like that. So it is basically not really, but important to note that servers are still running the code, but it's in the cloud. Infrastructure provisioning and management are invisible to the developer. So that's it. The servers are maintained by the Microsoft guys, but it is basically just invisible, but it includes servers, but you don't have to worry about it as Azure takes care of it. So if not for serverless computing, if you don't go for serverless computing, you have to invest heavily in physical infrastructure. Say, during the startup of the company, we will just build our own server and as the number of users raises, or the number of requests raises, you have to fight more servers, and the number of server increases and maintaining becoming an overhead and whatnot. Like if you build application, it may it may get a good response in a month or 2 months, and you have to increase your infrastructure, and it may become a nightmare of creating your own physical infrastructure nowadays. And also operational overheads are powered with constant peak demands, insurance, real estate, and regular maintenance and replacement. Yeah, you have to maintain it regularly. And say if the server goes down, you have to, or server it's not working fine, you have to replace it, which is not a good thing in maintaining your own server. And increase in capital investment if you have short-term scale-up demand. So that's also an important thing. So if you have a demand for it, and the initial capital investment can be a large overhead for you, and you have to still spend the same when demand scales down. So if it's also demand scales down, you have to still spend the same for the server cost, and you have to manage the software licenses for your respective server, and also it requires separate manpower requirements for non-core activities of the business. So your business can be creating an Amazon site, but an Amazon is getting a number of users or a lot of users, and you have to hire a separate men or separate team for maintaining your server if you build your own server. So if you don't go for serverless computing, these are some overheads you have to think about. And also, if not serverless computing, if you want to host your web apps in IIS server and manage it, and also you want to host and run Windows service for background tasks, and you have to manage database server, I think this will be useful. But let's say if you in this world, like most of the application are going SaaS model. So the organization who builds, they take care of the storage and the infrastructure, and the user and the end user don't have to worry about the storage. So in this booming world, the SaaS market is going ahead, rather than on-prem solutions. But there are solutions still existing in on-prem, but SaaS is ruling the market, and they are expecting to take care of the storages and server downtime, etc., by the organization rather than giving it to the end user. And now with serverless, no infrastructure management, yeah, you don't have to worry about it. As I said, it's just auto scale up, and it also improve team agility and performance. Let's say user have to the end user have to maintain the respective server, and you have to build a team for it. You have to maintain it, and I think that won't be a good thing if now it's all like. They don't have to worry about it, and they can hire a team for their respective. They can focus only on the business. They can hire a team which will increase their team agility and performance and accelerate time to market. Yeah, so you can just focus on your business need, and you can build your respective features. You don't have to worry about the database or the website downtime. You can just worry just about the features which are going to be in the next release. Just build it and just accelerate it, which will be live in the market as soon as possible, and the more efficient use of resources and manpower. Yeah, as I said, you don't have to worry about the respective separate team for managing your servers. It will be more efficient use of resources of what you actually need. Basically, you just want devs to build your features or testing QA, etc. And also now with serverless, it will focus on solving a business problem rather than managing the IT infrastructure. So you don't have to worry about the IT infrastructure, just focus on the problem. And there are many cool things. So as I said, event grid, logic apps, functions, database storage, security, IoT, analytics, and intelligence. So these are some of the cool things in Azure. It mainly event grid, so it will manage all events that can trigger code or logic. And logic apps, as I showed you, like it can be a simple workflow to automate your things, or also like logic app may be used in a used in an awesome way, like to automate your respective business things. And functions, yeah, as I said, you can also use function apps, durable functions, to host it in a cloud, and you can able to reuse it at any point of time. And also it provides some security, analytics, intelligence, etc. And intelligence, yeah, I think we have a topic on that, like Azure Cognitive Service. So that is a very cool thing. You can that will be a cool there will be a cool demo by Sivaram, and it will be a cool demo. Yeah. And the next thing is like you have to. So many of them are thinking like, should I have to move to serverless or not, or something like that. So these are some of the points I want to share you. Like I am going to split it in two categories. Like, are you a startup or enterprise? So let's say like, are you a startup? You have to quickly assess the product market fit and build prototypes and analyze things. You have to. Let's say you have to you have a requirement, you go for Azure and just pick the right resource and create a prototype of it, and see the pricing if it works for you, and just build it. So now you can have only 10 users, but in future it may have 500 or 1000 users. So whether Azure will take care of it. So just list down these things and verify whether it is a right resource for you and come up with a conclusion. And with limited resource and execution based pricing, you can build, measure, and iterate their way to success. So basically, as I said, the pricing is pay as you go model, so you don't have to worry during the initial stage. So Azure will be a better choice for you if you're starting up things, and it will be very useful for you. And let's say if you're an enterprise company, and you can stay competitive with Agile and with fast moving products. So if you go for Azure, and if you explore things, you can stay competitive with Agile, and you can just compete with the startups. And you can also move to architectural patterns of Azure, which will increase the flexibility and agility. So that's the main thing of it. And also it enables a business to grow without worrying about managing infrastructure and the planning. So that's the main thing. You don't have to worry about the infrastructure. You don't have to worry about like having a separate person to manage your infrastructure. It's just focus on business to grow. So these are some of the main key things you have to take into your mind. So if you're enterprise, just go for it, and if you use it in a proper way, you can just compete it with a startup, and you can able to grow your company in a rather drastic manner instead of maintaining a server for your respective company. And if you're a startup, you have to analyze it and you have to take care of it and take care of your pricing and also take care of the number of users in the future you're going to have for the respective apps. So let's say you are building an on-premise application. So should we go completely cloud to use serverless? So what happens to our on-premise infrastructure? So let's say you have you have an on-prem application and you want to go to the respective serverless. So you can think about like what happens to our on-prem. Like we have some solution on-prem. Like the answer is basically you can go for hybrid. So what is hybrid? You can have your resources in on-prem and also you can have your resources in Azure and you can able to communicate it. So that's the power of Azure. You can go for an hybrid solution. So that's the main point I have to share in this slide. You have to don't worry about like just moving directly into Azure. You can first jump into like hosting some of the resources you are using in on-prem, just move it to Azure and you can create a hybrid solution. So as the time went by, just migrate from one on-prem resource to Azure and at a point of time all your resources will be migrated and you will be completely moved into Azure. So it's never going to be easy like moving all the on-prem to the Azure at a go. Totally based upon your application. So just take it step by step, say I would like to say. So what enterprise have to say with Azure? Like as you see, Histo Papazov, so it's the senior software engineer relativity. He said like we find more and more ways to apply Azure functions to make our monitoring solution work better, which is why we are now heavily invested in serverless computing. So many companies are investing heavily in this cloud computing because of the management of servers. So that's the main key thing. And also Richard Striner from Plexure. With Azure, we can scale as we need without having to invest or plan for it. So as you see, the main thing is scaling. So they are saying we can scale as we need, so without having to invest or plan for it. It's just auto scales, and you don't have to worry about this. So this is some scalable e-commerce web app. So let's say we have a browser and it has some. A browser, so it will go to the web app. And as you see that we will have some authentication, multi-factor authentication method. And from web app, it goes to the queue storage. Queue storage is basically queuing mechanism, as I said. So let's say there are a number of requests from the browser, and the web app will queue the respective requests in the queue storage, and it will send to the function, and function will have some third-party payment. So this is basically, you can take it as an Amazon thing. We'll order something and the order goes to the queue storage and queue storage triggers the functions, and after the function we'll use some third-party payment mechanism. And in the web app we can use some caching mechanism, Redis cache or blob storage. We can use some caching mechanism, or basically it's a database kind of thing. Redis cache, blob storage, and SQL database. We can store something if we want in that respective thing, and also we can able to search based upon the information which we are storing in the respective database. So as you see, the whole workflow of this thing is based upon the Azure resources. So Azure will be very helpful for your web application as well as for any other application. Basically, you're going to have a website or an app, something like that. In the backend, you will have some database. You'll have some functions or service workers or workers or something, a background service running it in. So all these things can be done in Azure, and application insights. Yeah, that's also a main thing. You can just monitor your web app. How it's running, or something failure if gone, you can able to generate alert based upon that. And pricing, yeah, pay only for what you use. So don't worry. Don't worry. Like if I just create resource, it won't get money. Like you have to use it basically. So if I just created VM, and if it's only in start mode, the amount will be detected. If I just stop it, the amount is very less. I guess 0.00 rupees. I guess 0.003 paise or rupees, something like that. So it is just a pay-as-you-go model and terminate usage instantaneously. So need not worry about the capital investments on infrastructure as in on-prem. So that's it, guys. So as you see, you have to basically do a quick analysis in your business. If you want to go on, just don't jump on to moving all the on-prem to Azure. Just take it step by step, analyze it, which resource will be helpful for you and which will not, and come up with a list with pricing, auto scaling, a number of users in the future, something like that, to make your business move perfectly. So if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer it. Yes. Yeah. Okay, I guess there are no questions. So thank you everyone. So keep supporting, and thank you. Yeah, thanks for your cooperation.
Okay, good morning, everyone. So my name is Murli. So I'm working for a company called Quanticate as an Associate Director Software Development. Today's session, I will be covering what is Azure Data Studio and Notebook SQL and why the developer should care about it. So that's all we are going to see it. So a quick introduction about me. So I'm Murli. So I write blogs on the codingfreaks.net, and my GitHub is Twitter and LinkedIn handles are mentioned over here. So today's agenda will be, so what is Azure Data Studio, why the developer or board preferring to use the Azure Data Studio. So who is going to win the battle, whether the Azure Data Studio or the SQL Server Management Studio. Then we'll have a quick comparison about the ADS as well as the SSMS. And we'll have a demo about the Azure Data Studio, and we'll quick introduction about the SQL notebooks. Then I will give a demo about the SQL notebooks. Then we'll have a question and answer section. Then we will see what next, how we can go forward about it. So what is Azure Data Studio? So Azure Data Studio is in a fast and lightweight and database or any Postgres database to maintain your daily activities. So when I say cross-platform, so this tool can run on the Linux OS, Mac OS, as well as Windows. And so the Azure Data Studio is built on top of Visual Studio Code. So the more or less the UI will be very similar to the Visual Studio Code. So whoever is familiar to the Visual Studio Code and Azure Data Studio looks very similar to them. And honestly speaking, it's a completely an open source tool. So if you are really interested to contribute, you can fork the code on the GitHub and you can extend it, or you can create the extensions, or you can extend any functionalities that are already existing. And it supports a lot of extension. So as it runs on top of Visual Studio Code, so 90% of the Visual Studio Code extension that you can install on the Azure Data Studio and you can use it. So why I need to choose an Azure Data Studio? So as I said earlier, it is a cross-platform tool. So earlier, if you want to maintain any SQL Server database from a Linux or in a Mac OS environments, either you will be installing in a virtual machine, then you will be installing the SQL Server Management Studio, then you will be connecting the SQL Server, then you will be operating it or managing it. It's a kind of an overhead. So this one, Azure Data Studio resolves this issue. So it can be run on the the Mac OS or Linux OS or Windows OS. So no need to worry about any third party, any other tools. Another beautiful option is SQL Code Editor with IntelliSense. So today all the developers are using the IntelliSense. So and it has a very rich support on the IntelliSense as well. So when you give a type on a code or SQL query, it suggests you automated the next suggestions, what you want type or any table names or the column names, it will suggest automatically based on the context. SQL code snippets. So you can write your own code snippets to create any database queries or any operations that you want regularly performing it, so that you can define it in a SQL code snippets. So the advantage here is by default, it is bundled with a lot of SQL code snippets. And if you are writing in a frequent queries or in a joins or any database operations or performance cleaning or something, so that also you can define it as a code snippet and you can store it and you can reuse it. So you no need to write it again and again. The next one is the advanced query results viewer. So in SQL Server Management Studio, so we will be seeing the data in a tabular format or in a text-based format. So here it provides a rich view of the results. Either you can use the data as the JSON or CSV or an XML. Even you can see the data as the result as the graphical format as well. The another cool feature is the integrated terminal. So that means you can run the Azure Data Studio. So the integrated terminal. So the integrated terminal means so it can connect with the SQL in a command mode. So okay, so integrated terminal means so it can connect with the SQL mode or the PowerShell scripts that you can execute from the Azure Data Studio. The another beauty is the connection management. So you can connect with the various database servers like in the Postgres database or the SQL databases. Within the SQL database itself, you can categorize the connection like in a production environment separately, UAT environment separately, development environment separately. So you can group them together. And the dashboard customization. So another beauty is so you can write some of the queries, then you can plug into the database dashboard. So whenever you are logging into the system or opening into the database, you can see how the database is performing or what query is executing frequently. So those kind of operations that you can view by using the dashboard customization. So these are the features that is provided by the Azure Data Studios. So next we'll come back to the Azure Data Studio versus the SQL Server Management. So we'll have a quick comparison between both of these. So on the left side, so we are seeing the Azure Data Studio. On right side, we are seeing the SQL Server Management Studio. So on the left side, you can see the I have kind of different colors and combinations. On the right side, you can see everything is plain white, and it has a lot of options on the right side because it is in a more into the database administration. So whereas in the left side, Azure Data Studio more focused for the developers, which will minimize the database maintenance overheads. So here is the quick comparison between the Azure Data Studio as well as the SQL Server Management Studio. So Azure Data Studio, first we'll compare. So we'll see the features of Azure Data Studio. So it runs on the Mac, Linux, and Windows operating systems, and it can connect to the SQL Server Big Data cluster. So that means you can connect to the HDFS data store and you can access it. So you will be spending your time to writing the queries or editing the queries or manipulating the queries. And you can quickly see the data in the visualized format, like in a charts, and there are a lot of extensions are available. You can view the data very nicely. And so still you can perform, though it is Azure Data Studio is meant for the developers, still you can perform the administrative task by using the SQL command mode or the PowerShell scripts. So Azure Data Studio provides less number of wizard experience, so it more focused on the developers. You need to write more code rather than the more wizard based, and no need to do deep any administration configurations. It's very simple and straightforward. So whereas if you look at the Azure SQL Server Management Studio, so it has a lot of overhead for the database administration task. Like if you want to install a SSAS package, you have separate set of tasks that you need to perform. Or if you want to do the import export options, then you have a set of different options. Or you have to create the security or users on the SQL Server side, then you will be using the administrative task. And another thing is the security management and the vulnerability assessment. That and all it's performed by the SQL Server Management, whereas the Azure Data Studio is meant for the developers. And you can do the data tier applications by using the DPAC. So that also it's possible, whereas Azure Data Studio is mainly meant for the developers. So if you want to access in a different servers, so then you need to register, then you have to control on the SQL servers. But whereas Azure Data Studio, you can group together these server configurations. Okay, so when we look at the comparison, so when you look at the comparison between the Azure Data Management Studio as well as the Azure Data Studio, Azure Data Studio is more focused on the developers, whereas the SQL Server Management Studio is meant for the administrative tasks. So let's jump into the quick demo. So in the demo, we will be seeing what are the connection options that are available on the Azure Data Studio, then what is the tab colors, then the query execution, how it is get executed, and the query execution results, what are the different forms that it is getting executed. Then we'll see the what is the dashboard that appears on the each database. Then we will quickly compare the execution plan. Then we will create insights. Then we will put these insights into the database dashboard. And we will see how to create a snippets and how to reuse the existing snippets, and we can install some of the extensions. Then we'll see, and finally it supports the GitHub support as well. So let's get into the demo now. So going back to the Azure Data Studio, so I'm launching the Azure Data Studio. Okay, so let's get into the Azure Data Studio. So here I have connected with the Postgres database. In the below I have connected with the SQL Server database. So I will go and click Manage. So it landed to be in a. So it's getting connected. Yeah, it's connected. So I will click Manage. So if you look at here, so you can. So here, if you look at here, so we have the database search options. This is the, and we have I have customized with the existing queries. We'll come back and see how we can do each one by one. So let's go into write a new query. So let's start with the demo options. Like first we will get into the connection options. So if at all, if I want to connect a new database, then I'll go here, click new connections. Then you can see the wizard on the right side. So I'm going to connect with my local instance. So I'm going to give that /2019. So 2019 is my SQL Server 2019 instance. So I'm going to use the Windows authentication. So I have selected it. Then the database, I'm going to use the Adventure 2017. Then the server group, I'm going to. So name, if I want to give ADS demo, and I'm clicking connect. So you can see here, so I have the ADS demos, that is the server connection name that I have mentioned it. So it says it is connected with the Windows authentication. So you can see the database dashboard. So this is the one. So if you want to connect another database, then I can click another new connections. Then I'm going to select a different database. So then I'm going to select the prod database. I'm going to put into SQL. I'm going to create another group saying that with different colors, saying that prod DB and play with it. So that's a group name I'm just giving to identify. So I'm going to give DB. So that's the name I have given. I'm just clicking connect. So you can see the different colors that I have selected the brown color, whereas the dev database, or you can see a local database that's connected with a different color. So this will give a different color identifications. So currently we are connected with the prod DB. So those are the tables that exist. So this is the way you can group the connections, and you can give the different options during the SQL Server connection establishment. So the next one will be the tab colors. So we'll come back to the tab colors. Then I'm going to select top 1000 rows from the database. Okay, so so we have only one row on this table. So I'll take the database log. I can fetch more database informations. Okay, so it's rendered. That's fine. So you can see here the tab color is slightly different. So I'll go here. If I go to a different tab here, you can see the blue color. So because I have enabled the tab colors to visually identify which database on which tab I'm in. So if you want to change the appearance of the tab colors, so still you can do it. Just go to the settings icon on your left side bottom corner, click the gear icon, click the settings, click the tabs. So here it says this color mode, it says in the border. So I'm going to give us fill. So if I give fill, so it will be applied in a different way. So I'm going to click new query. So you can see the color difference now. So it's completely filled. Previously it was applied only to the top border. So now it's completely filled the color. So if I go here, so it's applied the blue color. So again, it's a different colors. So this is the way visually you can identify which tab you are in. The next options we'll going and see the query executions. So let's get into the same query again. So I'll fetch the next 1000 records from the database. So it returned 1000 records. So you can see here by default in SQL Server also we will get similar kind of execution details. So that appears perfectly. That's fine. Okay. So what's benefit over here? So here if you look at, so we have the query execution results as the CSV, JSON, XML and charts. So we'll see one by one. So first you go here on the right side, so you can see the different small icons appear here. So if you click save as CSV, so you can save all the results as CSV. So I'm just saying the results.csv. So all the records will be appeared as a CSV file. So you can see here, this is the table top rows and everything is appeared. So this is so I'm just opening the Notepad++. So you can see all our comma separated values. So don't worry, it's not an XML file, but the data is XML. That's why it is appearing kind of an XML. Sorry about it, but it is not an XML. It's a CSV file data. So let's get into the another one. So we have another option called the save as Excel. So you can click, it will be result will be save as Excel. So let it open file. So here you can see all the data in the XML form, sorry, the Excel format. So this is the easy way to export in SQL Server Management Studio. If you want to export into an Excel, so we will copy the result and we will paste into the Excel. Then we will be saving as the Excel format. CSV is in a nightmare. So again, you have to do some kind of query to execute the results as the CSV. And the next option would be the JSON format. So the JSON is in a JavaScript object notation. So it's very easy and user friendly for the developers. So and it is very much comfortable when you use a data transfer between two different applications. So let me open the results.json. In Notepad++, we can see all of the data structure. So all of the JSON formatted structure. So this is the another beauty. And from the SQL Server Management Studio, if you want to export the data as the JSON, then you need to write your extra code, or you need to use the SQL CLR to export the data as the JSON format. So the next option is the save as XML. So I'm clicking, then it says it's a results.xml. So then again, I'm going and opening the file into the browser. Yeah. Okay, so I'll open it over here. So here it's in an XML format. So or I can open in the Notepad++. So you can see all of the XML tag is there. So all the data are the XML formatted data. Okay, so the next one is the visualizing the data. So when you want to visualize some of the query results, so either we will export the data into JSON, then we will be using the some of the online JavaScript tools. We'll put the data and we'll be seeing it. Okay. But here it is not the case. So otherwise we need to get the data into our application, then render it with the chart engine, then you will visualize the data. Whereas the Azure Data Studio provides an option where you can easily use the chart options. I can go and click, so it renders, it gives me the data in the chart format. I think so. It is not on the correct data, so that's why we are seeing a lot of other informations. I will get you an easy and nice data, so you can easily visualize it. Okay, so this is the database log. Okay, so this is the one of the query that I have executed previously. So I'll just copy and paste it. I'm just executing the results. So I'm getting the top 10 events from the database log table. So let us quickly view as the chart options. So here you can see how the chart is appearing. So it gives the which event is occurred more. So I can give the first column as the one. So it says the create or extended property that has been called like 1,031 times, whereas the other event like alter table there, the user has been performed 117 times. So like this, you can compare and render the results. So this is the another beauty which is available on the Azure Data Studio. So the another result would be, so these are the extension that I have used, something called a visualizer. So you can use this visualizers, then you can render the chart in a completely in a different way. So it is the provided by Santans extensions. So you can see, or you can change in a different way of charts. Then you can use the grid kind of charts, whatever the charts that you want to manage it. It depends upon your data and how do you want to represent or visualize it. So you can use the tree map, everything, or the scatter plot kind of things that you can use it. So you can see this one is 1,231 times, the others are very less. So these are the different extensions that is provided by the Santans. So let's go back to here. So let's go back to the PPT. What's next? Okay, so the next one is the execution plan. So if you look at the execution plan, so we have an option called explain. So you can go and select your query or just click explain. So it will tell you how the execution plan is occurring. So this will be helpful when a developer wants to analyze the query where the SQL is having a bottleneck. Then it will give you where you need to improve your query operations. So this is also provided by SQL Server Management Studio, but still this option also brought into the Azure Data Studio as well. So here also you can see where it has the taken more time. So this is the tabular format, whereas the query plan provides the visualized format. So the next option is the creating insights. So we'll come back to the creating insights. So we'll come back here. So I'll go to the results sections. So I'll go and execute the query once again. So the query has been executed. So I'll go to the chart option, clicking the chart. So you can see the little icons, create insight, copy as image, save as image. So based on these options, we can create insights. So we'll use the create insight option. So before that, I will tune. Okay, so everything's fine here. So I'll go and click create insight. So it will give me a kind of a JSON structure. So it tells me some of the options which is are there. So I'm going to copy this up. Control C, Control. I copied the text. I'm going to the database, manage. So it gets me to the database dashboard. So here only we are going to bring. So this is the one I already brought in. So we'll try to put very similar to over here. So before that, I need to see the original query. So this is not my query. So this is my query. Okay. I'm going to use demo.sql and saving it. So this is saved in a different directory. So I'll go to the Control-Shift-P. I'll get the command palette. So I'll go type, click here, settings. I'm going to type dashboard.server. So we have something called widgets. So we can configure the dashboards via widgets. So I'm going to click the widgets settings.json. So here we are going to add the JSON. So this is my existing widget that I have been added. So that is the one that is bringing from the top 10 events. We have to add very similar sections over here. So this is the search widget and this is the top 10 widget. So I'm going to add one more widget here, which is nothing but whatever I copied over here. So SQL. I'll just copy the same part. Stored as the modified as demo 10 events. So SQL. So it is saved. So it's JSON. So it will come out at the end. So now it is happy. So there is no syntax errors. I'm saving it. I saved it, so there is no errors, there is no syntax errors. I'll go to manage again. So you can see now there are two options. So one is the earlier one, it was appeared here. So this is the new one. So I have been given the new one as the my widget. So that's the reason it is displaying as the my widget. The earlier one, it was displaying as a top 10 events. So this is the way you can create your own queries and you can add it into your dashboard of the database to view the kind of insights, which database is performing well or which user are doing more queries on which columns or those kind of things that you can find out and you can display it as soon as that you see the database. Okay, so that's a creating insights. The next one is the code snippets. So let's see the code snippets. So I'll open a new query. Okay, so if you want to insert, I want to create a new table. So generally what we will do is we'll go and create table name, and we will give all the options. But Azure Data Studio provides some option called create the widget. So you can type as a SQL, then it will give you all the snippets that are existing to the system. So you can see here SQL create table is a snippet is available. I can just press tab on selecting it. So you can see some of the columns or some of the text has been highlighted, so I have to change it manually. So I'm just giving a table name called employee. So then so it changes wherever it is there. Then I'm going to give the other values like ID and employee name, and I don't need to use the third column. I'm just dropping it. Okay, so these are the way that you can easily create it. So I'm just going and execute. So we are connected with the production database. So keep in remember which database you are in. So I'm just executing it. It says it's executed. So you can see the database over here. If you refresh, then you should be able to see the employee table here. So this is the table that we created just now. So if at all I want to create my own snippet, so what the procedures I need to follow? Just press Ctrl-Shift-P. So you can see the command palette. So go and type as snippet. So you can see the insert snippet or the configure user snippets. So you just click that. So it will be asking the other snippets which are available for a different language. So we have something called SQL.json, so which is for the SQL server provided snippets. I'm just clicking that. So I have already created a snippet to do this select the top 10 execution query. So here this is the name of the description of the snippet, and this is the prefix which will be appeared when you type in the code window, and this is the query, so that will be performing here, and this is the description that will be appeared when you do a search. Okay, so here the interesting fact will be the table name will be an argument here. Not in this case, but generally when you write on a kind of join queries, you can pass the it is in a parameters. So here I'm giving the table name, so like in a dollar, then the curly braces within the one dot table name. So that means the first parameter is the table name. Likewise, I can write a join query. I can give a number of table name as the parameters, or the parameters. So let me go and do this. So I'll go and delete it. Let's execute my snippet. So let's edify what the snippet SQL select top 10 execution. So SQL select. So here it is appears. So I'm just pressing tab. So it is asking me the database, sorry, the table name. So the table name here is database log. So I'm going to execute it. So it's executed. So this is the way you can create your own snippet and you can reuse it. And you can share the snippets with other developers by exporting the SQL.json. So this is another beauty things that you can share it. Okay, so next one. So we are going to see some of the extensions. Okay, so come back to the extension. This is the last small icons or the extensions. You just click the extensions. It will be displayed what are the extensions that are enabled and which are the extensions that are available as well. Okay, so I have been installed the PostgreSQL and the PowerShells as well as the Python for Visual Studio Code and the Sandance for the visualization and the SQL Profiler and finally the SQL Schema Compare. So these are the extensions that are already available. I have been installed as well. So you can see how to do the SQL comparisons by using the comparison. Generally, if you are creating a differential script from an UAT environment with a production environment, so we will use the Visual Studio to give the target and the server database, the source database. Then it will generate the differential script. So for that, we will be using the Visual Studio. But Azure Data Studio also provides an option where you can do the SQL database comparison. So we'll see how we can use the Schema Compare quickly. So I'll go to the database. So I'll right click on the database. I'll use the Schema Compare as the option. So I click this Schema Compare. So it will be prompt me. So what is my source and target? So I'm going to give my source will be the I'm going to just change to the UAT environment. So I'll give assume this adventure works 2017 is your UAT environment database. So on your target will be your sorry about it. So I'll need to select the database. So I'm giving the production database. Then I have to click compare. So now it will be running the schema comparison between the two database and it will result it. It will not do the data comparison. It will do only the schema comparison. So let it execute. So by the time we can go and see the any other options. So another thing is you can attach a SQL profiler as well. So with the database, so you can use the launch profiler option. So it will connect with the SQL profiler session. So you can go and click. So it's an on-prem. So you can just click. So it started connecting with the database. Yes. So it is connected with the SQL. It is started the SQL profiler. If I go and execute this query, then it will be appeared. So here, so it's appeared. I think it is doing a schema comparison as well. So that's the reason we are seeing a lot of other properties. So this is the query that we have been executed now. So generally people will be, or the developers will be using the SQL Management Studio Express, which is the lack of the SQL profiler. If you use the Azure Data Studio, which is completely free and open source, and it has been inbuilt with the SQL profiler as well. Let's see what the Schema Compare is saying. Schema Compare is saying there is a new table which is there in the production, but it is not there in the source. That is in there because we created this database directly into the production environment, the employee table during our demo. So this database log, it says there is a change. Okay, so it says whereas the created date exists on your UAT environment, but it is not there in your production environment. So if at all, if you want to do this, then you can generate in a differential script and you can execute it on your production environment. And it says you have to delete this employee database table, which exists only on the production environment, not on the UAT environment. So this is the way you can do the schema comparison via extensions. Let's see what's next. So Python, so you can install the Python via marketplace as well. So if at all, if you want to install any extension, still you can go to the Visual Studio marketplace. You can download as a VIX file, then you can install it from here. Install extension from VIX page package as well. Okay, so GitHub support. So SQL Server Management Studio, so maintaining the query is really hard. It doesn't support any source control system, whereas the GitHub the Azure Data Studio is integrated with Git, so you can see all the queries or all the queries that are saved over here. You can maintain as a source control system. So I can see here, so this is saying the untracked and how many stash is there, everything it will be displayed. You can commit this file into Visual or GitHub as well. Okay, so dashboard. So I have been skipped this for reasons. So I'll go to the dashboard now, database manage. So here, this is the place where we have been added it. If you want to perform, if you want to search for any table, then you can search here. I want to search for a person related tables, then I can type person, which will display all the person related tables, which this feature is missing in the SQL Server Management Studio. And we have seen how we have customized it. So if you want to rearrange any of the widgets, then you can use the little edit pencil icon on your right side, then you can click and you can do a drag and drop and you can move it. Okay, so, or if you want to remove it, you can just go click it, it will be removed. Okay, so the next one is if you want to do any backup or restore options, you can just click, it appears, which is very similar to the SQL Server Management Studio, but it is simplified way. You can do the backup options as well. Or if you want to restore, you can click the restore, then you can restore the database from where to where. Okay. Next option, customizing, we have been seeing. Okay, so these are the things are done on the Azure Data Studio. So let's get into the SQL Notebook. Okay, so what is SQL Notebook? So before getting into the SQL Notebook, we have to get into a kind of a place. What is first of all notebook? So generally, when you create a notebooks or when you use a notebook, so you will write on some kind of statements. Then you will put some descriptions of the discussions, or you write some kind of diagrams in your notebooks. That's what all about a notebook. But why SQL Server has implemented something called notebooks? So the concept evolved from the Jupyter notebooks. So to understand Jupyter notebooks, we need to quickly go into a Python. So then we have to come back. So Python, they have been launched almost 15-20 years back. Then they came up with something called an IPython, which will be executed over in a browser. That's called IPython. And they have, after there's some time, there have been something called Jupyter. They have been released. So Jupyter is nothing but a three combination of three programming language mixed together. They have been arrived Jupyter. So Julia, Python plus R, that is called Jupyter. So it has the extension of IPYNB, that means IPython notebook. So that is the extensions. So another keyword on the notebooks is called something called kernels. So the kernels is nothing but a computational engine, or you can say kind of a compiler. So when you write a C# code, you will be executing via or execute towards to the C# compiler, correct? So which is very similar here. The notebooks, when you execute the code, you need to select which kernel that you need to choose. So that means when I say which kernel, that means there are more than one kernels are available. So that's the reason we are saying about which kernel, correct? So there are 100 plus kernels are available. You have the kernels for C#, you have kernel for F#, Java, SAS, Python, or Scala. There are a lot more languages are available. If you want to know more about the Jupyter notebooks, you can visit my blog. So introduction about Jupyter notebook and Azure Machine Learning Studio. I have been explained all these concepts over there. So let's come back to the SQL notebooks. So the SQL notebooks is a kind of again, it's a mix and match of the notebooks with the SQL queries. So it is one of the new and coolest features of the Azure Data Studio. So in SQL environment itself, you can mix up the markdown text, images, SQL queries, and the query execution results as well in a single file. So previously, when you are sending in a SQL script to your another developer, so there is a lot of places where you need to mention the comment saying that, hey, execute this query first, then see the result. If the results you are having 10 records, then execute this operations or the another operation you have to perform it. So that will be very difficult because all it needs to go into a .SQL file and it doesn't have any much formatting capabilities. Otherwise, we need to give two documents. One is on a Word document where you have put everything in the screenshots, then the SQL script will be separate. So that when the developer executes or the DBA executes, you need to compare both. Okay, it's there in the Word document, but if the results are different in the SQL, what I have to do? So all these things will be a problem when you use this with the SQL Server Management Studio, which is in a, when you use the SQL notebooks, all it will be very straightforward. So it is you can create a self-explanatory notebook with the kind of queries, query results, and the descriptions of the query results in a single document, and it can be easily shared with the other developers by trusting the SQL notebook file. So by default, it has the SQL kernel, but it is not limited. You can execute it for the Scala as well. So let's get into the demo. So let me open. So I'll go to the file menu, click new notebook. So we got this area. So it's a plain text area. So you can see the kernels are different. So I can use the kernel for SQL, Python Spark, Scala, Spark with R, or Python 3 or PowerShell. These are the different kernels currently that are supported by the Azure Data Studio, but it is not limited. If you have your engine, or if you know how to configure the kernel, then you can bring all your kernels over here. Okay, so we have an option called click on plus to code or text. So code is nothing but the SQL Server code that we can place it over here. Text means we can put in a markdown text. When I say markdown text, it's a kind of an pre-formatted text. When you place it, it will give a formatted experience. So I have already created the script. So I'll just go and open the notebook file. So I'll go here. Let's see. Let me open the file. So here there is a markdown.ipython file. So I'll just place it here. So here you can see here on the text. So when I double click, so it will be coming to the markdown structure. So when I put a single hash, it will give me a heading 1. Then if I put 2, then it gives me h2, h3 like this. If you want to make it in a bold, then you need to use double asterisk. Then if you want to have an italic font, then use a single asterisk. Then if you want to create a list, then you can use a simple 1, 2, 3. Or if you want to create a bullet list, you just put the asterisk. If you want to create as a link, then you have to put the text, what text needs to be updated in the square bracket, then the actual link should be in the braces. If you want to put image, yes, you can put the image with this formatted syntax. So if you want to see the output, just double click outside. You can see here, I'm seeing all the H1, H2 till H6, then the bold italic fonts, then the number of the bulleted list as well as the numbered list. Then I can see the link. So if I click this link, it will open to the Poway systems. Then I can put an images as well. So this is the way you can use the markdown structure. So this is fine. So how this is going to, how I can put on a SQL code. So if you want to put on a code, just click the plus icon with code. So you can see in a different icon it appears. It has the play symbol as well as the query or the code window. So I'm just going to put in a simple query which I have stored already. So I'm just copying this text. It's the same query of the database logs. So I'm going to place it over here. I'm just going to click execute. So it's asking me to which database I want to connect because I haven't connected any database. So SQL 2009. So then, so I'm going to any database is fine. So I'm just clicking connect. So it says it's executing. So you got the results. So it is executed. So here also we have the same options like an exporting options, and we have the source chart as well. So you can see the results as well, and you can save this file as markdown at .ipython notebook file, and you can save this file and you can give to someone else by you can easily simply email to them. And if you want to trust it, you can trust it. That means you are trusting the developer and he does not put any malicious code on this. So that's the reason we have an option called trusting, and we have an option called changing the kernel to a different one to execute. So if you want to clear the results, you can just simply clear. If you want to execute again, you can execute it. So I can put it one more time. So you can see the results as well. We can put any number of text in between and any number of code also in between. If I want to put add text, I can simply add, just put one welcome to SQL notebook. So it's appeared over here. So you can see the results formatted and everything. This is called SQL notebooks. And what next? So we'll see on the slide. So we have seen this. This is the demo. So anyone having any questions? Go here. Questions. So what next? So you can constantly watch the Azure Data Studio space to identify what is the new upcoming features that they are releasing it. But currently the Azure Data Studio is evolving, but it is not limited. People might be thinking if the Azure Data Studio comes, what happens to the SQL Server Management Studio? Does it goes out? Definitely not the case, because the SQL Server Management Studio, it has mainly more into the database administrative task, whereas this Azure Data Studio is made more specific to their developers. So I think both will exist for some time, and it's Microsoft decisions to scrap the SQL Server Management Studio. And keep in touch. So again, so this is my blog and GitHub link on Twitter and LinkedIn. I'm not very active in the Facebook, so I'll be only out here. And thank you. And very thanks to Kupros on their team to organize this event, though it's in a COVID-19 situation. Thanks for organizing it.
You can start.
Yeah, hi. Good morning, on to all. Like myself, Sivaram Krishnan. I'm working as a, technical product support engineer at Kovai Systems. So today, I would like to talk about Azure Cognite Service. So yes, let's go to the session. So today, the main agenda is like what is cognitive service and the types of cognitive service, and we shall see the demos as well. So next, it is like a It is a Wikipedia definition. Like it is like a cognitive is nothing but a mental action or process of acquiring knowledge and understanding through the thoughts. So yeah, next I would like to give a quick video about how the cognitive service works in the real space. Before that, just give me a minute. Let me check the video that you can hear. Yes, here is the video.
I'm Saqib Sheikh. I lost my sight when I was 7, and shortly after that I went to a school for the blind, and that's where I was introduced to talking computers, and that really opened up a whole new world of opportunities. I joined Microsoft 10 years ago as a software engineer. I love making things which improve people's lives. And one of the things I've always dreamt of since I was at university was this idea of something that could tell you at any moment what's going on around you.
I think it's a man jumping in the air doing a trick on a skateboard.
I teamed up with like-minded engineers to make an app which lets you know who and what is around you. It's based on top of the Microsoft Intelligence APIs, which makes it so much easier to make this kind of thing. The app runs on smartphones, but also on the Pivot Head smart glasses. When you're talking to a bigger group, sometimes you can talk and there's no response, and you think, is everyone listening really well, or are they half asleep? And you never know.
I see two faces. 40-year-old man with a beard looking surprised. 20-year-old woman looking happy.
The app can describe the general age and gender of the people around me and what their emotions are, which is incredible. One of the things that's most useful about the app is the ability to read out text.
Hello, good afternoon. Here's your menu.
Great, thank you. I can use the app on my phone to take a picture of the menu, and it's going to guide me on how to take that correct photo.
Move camera to the bottom right and away from the document.
And then it'll recognize the text. Read me the headings.
I see appetizers, salads, paninis, pizzas, pastas.
Years ago, this was science fiction. I never thought it would be something that you could actually do, but artificial intelligence is improving at an ever faster rate, and I'm really excited to see where we can take this. As engineers, we're always standing on the shoulders of giants, building on top of what went before. And in this case, we've taken years of research from Microsoft Research to pull this off.
I think it's a young girl throwing an orange frisbee in the park.
For me, it's about taking that far-off dream and building it one step at a time. I think this is just the beginning.
Yeah, so that's a video actually, and we have witnessed that that video is actually captured is one of the feature what we have used in the Azure Cognitive Services. So yeah, so next, what is cognitive service? So Azure Cognitive Service or APIs and SDKs and services available to help the developers to build intelligent applications without having the direct AI or data science skills or knowledge about the about the complete coding. So the Azure Cognitive Service enable developers to easily add cognitive features into their applications. The goal of the Azure Cognitive Service is to help the developers create applications that they can see, hear, speak, understand, and even begin to the reasons. So the catalog of the services within the Azure Cognitive Services can be categorized into 5 major pillars, or we can call as umbrellas. So such as vision, speech, language, web search, and then the decisions. These will be covered under these 5 major categories. Yeah, so let's again we will see how the vision has been implemented. Let's see a quick video.
We come to work every day to pilot, test, and launch new technology solutions. Real-time ID check is the latest technology example where we at Uber are constantly developing and testing new solutions to predict, prevent, and reduce security risks in ways that weren't possible before. It's through this partnership with Microsoft that we've been able to develop this technology quickly and ensure that every rider and every driver has an excellent experience. Real-time ID check is a prompt that appears in the driver's app asking them to take a self-photo. We can do a check in real time to make sure that that identity of the person who took the picture matches the account holder who's been approved to drive. Doing that serves a couple of purposes. Drivers know that their identities and their accounts are being protected, and riders know that the driver who they're with has been screened.
Jen?
Evan?
Yeah.
Real-time ID is a smart technology. What that means is it factors in and addresses the edge cases. The situation where the driver is wearing glasses or a hat and they weren't in the identification that we have on file. The beautiful thing is it can recognize these changes and ask the driver to remove their sunglasses or retake the photo. The partnership with Microsoft Cognitive Services allowed us to go from idea to execution to implementation across the country in a matter of months. Already, we've been able to make thousands of rides safer, and very soon we're going to be making millions of rides safer through this technology.
Yes, so we have witnessed that Uber has implemented the Azure Cognitive Services. Mostly, it has been not implemented within India, but it has been implemented in Dubai and Singapore cities, which they allowed them to, do a video verification. I mean, the photo verification. Yeah. So these are the advantages using the Uber. Like they have used the cognitive services and they have implemented like these are these are some of the benefits once after using the Microsoft Azure Cognitive Services. So yeah, let's see about the types of cognitive services. As I mentioned before, there are multiple services were available. Actually, there were 27 services were available within cognitive services now. Those 27 services can be divided under 5 umbrellas. So decision, language, speech, vision, and web search are the 5 major umbrellas. The services can be the services are added and existing services enhanced over a time. So yeah, let's see the decision cognitive services first. So the decision cognitive services can be divided into 3 major services: personalizer, and then the content moderator, and then anonymity detector. So it is in the preview for now. So so the personalizer is harmless user feedback in real time to present a personalized media experiences, including ranked shopping placement, recommended news articles, and related video content. So in retail, media, e-commerce, and many other industries have long pursued the personalizing the experience. Unfortunately, giving customers more of what they want often requires string together various CRM and DPM and name your acronym platforms and running A to B tests day and night. Reinforcement learning is a set of techniques that's allowed AI to achieve a goal by learning from what's happening in the real world in real time. And only Azure delivers this powerful reinforcement learning based capabilities through simple to use API with personalizer. Yeah. So yeah. So this is how the personalizer will work within Microsoft Teams, or using a personalizer to enhance the user experience. So using the personalizer, they express. I hope you were aware about Xbox. So Xbox saw a 40% lift in the engagement by using the personalizer to display the content to the users that will mostly likely interest based upon the person's and then the user-friendly interface to monitor and adjust the learning loop according to the parameters and KPIs. automatic model optimization based on reinforcement learning, allowing AI to achieve the goals you set it. So yeah, let's see the content moderator. So detection of potential offensive and unwanted images, filtering of possible profanity, and then undesirable text, moderation of adult or racy content in the videos or the images can be detected, and then we can give a warning. So content moderator actually again divided into 4 sections. The sections are image moderation, text moderation, video moderation, and human review tool. So the image moderation actually enhance the ability to detect the potentiality offensive or unwanted images through machine learning based classifiers, custom files, and optical characters recognition. So we call as OCR. So the text moderation is used content filtering to detect the potential profanity in more than actually 100 languages can be are used here. So you can flag a text that may be deemed inappropriate depending on context. That's actually in public preview. And match text against your custom list. Content moderator also helps check for personality inferable information. We call it as PII. And the next one is video moderation. So video moderation enable machine assisted detection of possible attempt and racy contents in video. The video moderation service is available as a part of Azure Media Services. And then the human review tool, it is the best content moderation results come from humans and machine working together. So in the real-time world, we can able to see that it will ask us to select, you know, it will show a number of pictures, and it will ask us to select some of the particular picture named as we want to select where are the buses are displayed. We want to select those pictures which is available in bus. So we have that's one of the real-time example for human review tool. Once we select, it will allow us to pass through. And another one is anonymity. There is one more services are available, that is anomaly detector, easily embed anomaly detector capacity into the apps, and users can quickly identify problems. Through API, anomaly detector previews instances, time series data of all types, and select the benefits. Okay, so next we will see a quick demo. So even I'm not a techie, like I'll not code that much, so I'll show a quick demo using the Azure services. Yes. So yeah, so this is one of the personalizer demo. I'll show like how it will work. So once after I select the personalized article, it will show an article. I'll just read out like how we have how it is giving a score. So I'm just scrolling it. So it has been, if you have noticed that there is a time has been running behind it, and as well as I'm claiming a reward for the for this. So in the real time, if you have noticed that in some of the documentation, there you can see a time, right? On the top left corner, something else, you may able to see that for the entire article, how much time you able to spend to read the complete article. And then it will, so those are all are implemented by using the personalizer. So yeah, let's move on. So yeah, this is, yeah, I'm switching to language now. So in the language section, there were actually yeah, there you can see there are 5 major cognitive services were available under language. language understanding, Q&A maker, text analysis, translator text, immense reader. So let's see the language. Usually the language API they are used for spell checking, natural language understanding, linguistic analytics, and then sentimental analytics, top detection were used. So language understanding, machine learning based service to build natural language understanding into apps, bots and LOTs were used, devices were used. So and then a Q&A maker. So Q&A maker used to build a knowledge base by extracting questions and answers from your semi structured content, including FAQs, manuals, and documents. So the answers uses questions with the best answers from the Q&As in your knowledge base. So that will be happening automatically. So in the next session, you may able to witness using Q&A maker, a chatbot will be built by by our next presenter. So the text analysis, the text analytics are used to detect semantics, key phrases, named entities such as organization, people, and locations, and more can be detect using text analysis. So within the text, if you can find out Microsoft, it will be identified, and it will be come under named entities like organizations, and as well as language from your, it will be found out from your languages. And then the translator text service that developers can easily integrate into their applications, website, tools, and then solutions requiring multi-language support, such as website localizations and e-commerce, and then customer support, and then messaging applications, and internal communications. As an example, if you could see that if you're having a knowledge base article, you can set it as if say example, if your product is globally used, you need to convey or convert your articles into multiple languages so that the native languages can be understood. So to avoid the situation of translating each into each languages, this language translator text will help us to upload your documentations into multiple languages. So it has actually this will have five number of subdivisions, like extending your application research, automatic detect languages, and then translate into different alphabets, look up words with bilingual, like alternative words and like dictionary, and then building customized translation systems were available under text analysis. And then the immersive reader, actually it is in the preview. It help us of abilities comprehend text using audio and visual clues, lets you embedded text reading and comprehensive capabilities into applications, help users of any age and reading ability with features like reading aloud, translating languages, and focusing attention through highlighting and other design elements. Say example, if you are using Outlook 2019, there you able to find out, like Outlook have implemented messages you to read aloud. So these capabilities were implemented using the immersive reader only. So let me show you a quick demo for using language understanding. So So this is like controlling remote light using using the given text. So instead of this, I'll show you the Outlook. That will be very understanding for you. So I am opening the Outlook. Okay, so I just opened a couple of days. I have configured this. So I'm using Apps Dynamics. So I have received a message from App Dynamics. I'll let you read. So this is a read aloud. This is the speech.
This message is from an external sender. Be cautious, particularly with links and attachments. Insights at your fingertips. 70% of consumers want digital experiences to be more personalized than those that happen face-to-face. Yet, the IT infrastructure is more challenging than ever before. So how can we meet growing customer expectations? We have selected the top on-demand webinars from our experts and customers to share key insights and...
So I have stopped the demo. Like I hope you are able to understand like what is the use of these services. This has been implemented, as I mentioned before. This has been implemented in Outlook, and you were able to witness like they were actually reading aloud of the text. Yes. So yeah, so the next one will be speech. Yes. So a speech API for converting text to speech and text to speech, as well as performing voice verification and identification. So this has been categorized into 4 cognitive services. So one is speech to text, text to speech, and then speech translation, and as well as speaker recognition. So let's see like what is speech to text. It is converted spoken audio to text for more natural interactions. So Shiftly convert audio into text from a variety of sources. Customize models to overcome common speech recognition barriers such as unique vocabularies and then speaking styles or background noise. And this is again Bing speech brings speech to text to applications, allowing you to use voice as a more natural input. The audio can come out from a microphone, file, or other sources. Results can be turned in real time as audio is sent to a service. Recognition can be also combined with other service. For example, you can get intent of a speaker's face directly from the APIs after some training. And yeah, of course, there is also text to speech. So your application can be recognized in kind in a number of languages and voices. So for the text to speech and speech to text, there were actually 4 voices were available right now. And then the text to speech convert text to lifelike speech for more natural interfaces. Use text to speech. It's a part of a speech service. And then speech translation. Easily integrate real-time speech translations to your app. If you're using, if you are creating a game or voice interface to a specific tool, you will you'll want to be sure that domain specific words and phrases don't trip up the recognition system. With the custom speech engine, you can create language model that will allow and assist you with the recognition. Not only, but you can create models that will help with the low quality audio in uncooperative environments. With those made, you can deploy them to custom, recognize, and endpoint ready to handle your speech scenario. So, but there are multiple benefits, out of which extend to reach your application and transferable and translate real life conversation, and then build customized speech translation systems are the major benefits of the speech translation. Another and the last but not in the speech is speech recognition. As of now, it is in preview. It will help us to identify individual speakers or use speech as means of verification with the speaker recognition. So it is nothing but like if a celebrity speaks, it will identify and then let you know like who's speaking. And I'm just going to give a demo on speech recognition only. I'll just open up the link. Yeah, so yes, so I'm not sure how many of you know about George Bush. If you know, like you will be considered as an IT skill. Yeah, so let me choose a video, sorry, audio, and it will like it will tell in the text like who's speaking. Yes. Yes. I have tried out this audio, and I have tried out in a preview application, and it found out Rajinikanth voice. Yeah. So yes. The next one will be vision. Sorry, just give me a minute. My colleague has pinged down. Okay, fine. Yes, so the next one is Vision. So Vision APIs were used for extracting information from images, recognizing emotions in images and videos, detecting and identifying faces in images, detecting motion in video, and more speech APIs for converting text to speech and text to speech in as performing voice. As it has been divided into 6 APIs: computer version, custom vision, and then face, and then video indexer, and form recognizer, and then ink recognizer. And the form recognizer and then the ink recognizer, or in the preview side, I'll show you in a demo like how we can use the ink recognizer. Now I'll show you the. Now I'll just explain about the computer version. The computer version generate description and search metadata for images, detect face and recognize celebrities in images, read text in images, check images for adult content, and generate smart images, smart image thumbnails, and more. And the computer vision service provide a vast wealth of information from a single picture. Like it includes a summary description of what it finds in the image, tags for the particular image content, and then assessment of the image type, including whether it is adult content, the locations of the faces in the picture, including the estimation of the age of a person, and then at the dominant colors it find in your case, and you want to adapt an application to match with an image. And then the next one is custom vision, an AI service and end-to-end platform of for applying computer vision to your specific scenario. You can build a frictionless custom experience and then optimize manufacturing processes, accelerate digital marketing campaigns. Using the custom visions, like before the custom vision came, like say example, if we're using if you are a manufacturing company, you able to find out the and detect the problematic product with the capture of actually a photo or um, a laser has been used before. Within this custom vision, it is now implemented in most of the manufacturing company, and they are finding um, the defect products. And another is the next one is face detection that perceives faces and attributes in an image. uh, Person identification that matches an individual in private repository. So up to 1 billion people has been found out so far. I mean their data has been using. So if you notice, like the Facebook where when you upload an image, or when someone uploads an image, immediately it will let you know, like if you want to tag yourself with an image. So these has been implemented using uh, uh, these services. And then perceived emotion recognition that detects the range of facial expressions like happiness, contempt, and then neutrality and fear, and recognition on grouping of similar faces in the images. Um, uh, it is also used for detecting and identifying people and emotions in the images. And beyond just emotion, machine learning, the face API can give you information on age, gender, pose, orientation, and then smile. Um, and then along with the position of 27 facial landmarks were available, like for example eyebrows, and then the position, and then the nose. Using these, it will identify the face. So the next one is video indexer. It will automatically extract advanced metadata from the video and audio. So yeah, I'll show you the a quick video on video indexer in the next slide. The next one is form recognizer. The form recognizer applies advanced machine learning to accurately extract text, and then the key value samples from the recognizer tailors its understanding to your document, both on premises and in the cloud. So turn forms into usable data, and at a fraction of the time and the cost, you can focus more time acting on the information rather than compiling it. The next one is ink recognizer. Ink recognizer help you to create an application experiences that combine pen and paper interaction with powerful digital capabilities. So it recognizes digital handwriting, common shapes, and at the out and the layout of inked documents for various scenarios like note taking, form filling, content search, and document annotation. Yeah, so I'll show you a quick video. Yes, yes. You actually you heard it right. Like without it is not like true. Like without even a single code, there is a minimum code should be used for. I mean, if a customizing up to your product, you have to use the minimum code. Yeah, I'll show you a quick demo about ink recognizer. I'll open a new one. So you can see it is a blank page. I'll just show you that you can see an option. If you're using 2019 presenter, there you can find out this draw option. So I'm just showing it how to use it. So yeah, let me write it up. So if it is a touch screen, then it will be very easy for you, but without having a touch screen, I'm using it. So yeah, I'm using laser select. It will help us to select the content which we want to select. Yes, it has been, and then there you can see. Okay, sorry, it went too wrong. Laser select, and then I'm selecting. Okay, since it is a developer preview, it's not working that much fine, but fine. I'm again choosing a pen. Yes, I X6. Let me see. Okay. Chosen into text, but it's again showing in the shape. Oops. Let me see, it's working over here. S I X. Okay, laser select. Okay. Okay, it's converting into shapes, but it's not converting into ink. Okay, that's fine. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Okay, web search. So it is like mostly the web search were used in the Bing, and then the search APIs like it is the search APIs for offering search suggestions and performing sophisticated searches like it has been used in the Bing. So let's see about Bing auto search. Like in the web search, there were 9 major services are available. Let's see about Bing Auto Suggest. So Bing Auto Suggest help you to add your app or website by using Auto Suggest on the text a user is used to typing to help them to complete it more quickly. And then the Bing custom search. It's a global scale search index and a document presenting with fast, simple setup. The core technology works in 4 steps by identifying on top sites and images, providing automatic query suggestions, applying the Bing ranker, and then delivering the relevant search results. Adjusting the parameters and access, use insights anytime, like you can use it. And then the Bing entity search. Bing, it will bring you rich content about people, places, things, and local businesses to your apps through entity information for a more engaging user experience. So a Bing entity search API will identify the most relevant entity based on your search term, spanning multiple entity types such as famous people, a person, places, movies, and then the video games, even video games, and then TV shows and books, and even local business near to you. And then the image search. Image search does what you did expect, but you can also specify geographic market, safe search option, color refreshness, type, license type and size. You'll get back URLs including one of the hosting page from image. The next one is Bing news search. So news search, the web for news articles with Bing news search API as the latest API is version 7. Results include details like authoritative images of the news article, related newses and categories, provide info, article URL and date added within the API version 7, and discover new sorting and filtering options that simplify finding specific results in the trending news topic. So let's see about spell search, spell check. It helps users correct spelling errors, recognize the difference among names, brand names, and slang, and as well as it will help us to understand uh, what they're typing. So, uh, switch between spell correction for web searches and the documents from top left drop down. Uh, yeah, the next one is video search. It will help us to find videos across the web. Results provide useful metadata including creator, encoding format, video length, view content, improve and specify paging. And the next one is visual search. The Bing visual search helps us to create compelling visual experiences through the interpretation of images on a device on your choice. It will help us to enrich the search experience with visually similar images and products from our businesses. And the usage of Bing Visual is to search to recognize the celebrities, monuments, artworks, and other related objects. It will help us to identify barcodes or extract textual information from images to provide rich insights. And visual assistance provides rich information based on the content of the image and capabilities, such as reading business cards, identifying barcode, and recognizing popular people, places, objects, and artworks. And the last one is Bing Web Search. So it will help us to enable safe AdWord, and then the location aware search for our users, and then the surfing relevant information from the web results. And of course, you can do a web search optionally filtering down into pages, images, new video. Yes, I'll just show you a quick demo on visual search. Yes, so if you can see that when we select a person, it has been in the preview. If you can see that it has been using the similar videos. It has so you can see there was small check over his shirt. So it has been shown the relevant information in the preview. Similar wise, if I select the flower. Yeah, if you can see a couch has been selected, and you can see the similar color variant. If you can see that it has been similar to the color variant, and then the couch what you have selected, and as well as if you could show the ornament, let's see. So yeah, it has been shown in the it has been shown that Bayon has been shown. Yeah, so this is how this visual search will work. Yes, so I have almost covered the services. So yeah, these are the services. If you go to the Azure, and if you go to the categories and select AI and machine learning, there you can find out the cognitive services. So there were 27 number of services were available till now, and some of them were under preview. But even though it is in preview, you can use it, make use of it. The result will not be that much accurate, but it will show the result, and you can modify it according to your need. And now last but not the least, it's about the pricing. So it is the pricing is actually for you can use free, and then the account which we're using, so and then the monthly subscription. So it is dependent on the free and then the monthly subscription. It is pay what you use. It will not, it doesn't have until unless if you use preview, uh, uh, it is a monthly, if I'm not wrong, it is the services can be used on the monthly basis, and the charges will be shown on the monthly basis, and as well as the number of feeds what you're using. Any questions? I'm happy to answer. Also, you can find out me on the Twitter, LinkedIn, and then the Facebook. Yeah, let me know if you have any questions. I'm just opening the YouTube to check if there is any questions. Yeah, hi Pandyan.
Sure.
Ending my session. Thank you for all to join this session. So have a nice weekend and have a great session. Yes, thank you.
You can start.
Okay. So, hi everyone. Thanks for joining the session. The topic is very simple today. Already, Shiva has covered most of the Azure Cognitive Services. We will just see some things about a chatbot. Before jumping into the talk, I just want to say a few disclaimers. So, you will hear some background noises, and the screen may freeze, and you can see my network will be very slow and the voice quicker. So, please be aware about it. Let me open this. The main focus of the today's topic is we'll be covering what Azure bot service. I just want supposed to have in the loop like it's like speaking alone. I'll just ask some questions to Subhas. Subhas, in your point of view, what is a bot?
Bot is something like so it can be anything. It can be a question and answer bot. Like it just minimizes. It just used to automate stuff. So basically, if we land on a website, some basic questions we can train on a bot rather than directly asking it to a support person. We can create a bot for it. Some basic questions can be given to a bot, like what is that and why should we use that, and it can able to reply it.
Right. How a bot will look like? Do you have any imagination how a bot will look like?
I think it would be something like your background, but I'm
Okay, let me show you a bot, my favorite bot here. Can see it?
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah.
Take a close look. This is not Rajnikant. This is our
Yeah.
So, Subha said a bot can be anything. You can have a chatbot. It can reply your question and answer, or you can even show or schedule messages. It can act as a personal assistant or something. So let's see the technical words here. So what a bot will look like? Basically, it's like anything. It can even schedule your meetings. It can help you in a day-to-day process. When it can have something like this, you'll be asking some questions and it will be replying some questions. The popular chatbot, wherever we see, let's say we use Swiggy or Zomato or those kind of popular food apps. What they mainly used is like they are avoiding the human contact during the chats, because there will be a number of people asking what is the status of my order or where is my food. So these are the common questions. So they are trying to reduce the human interaction with the customers, because this is just a repeated question. So those were the bots coming into the picture. So what Azure service, bot service will help us to do? Like you will build a service only once, and you can integrate with these many applications. It can be a Microsoft Teams or Slack, even a Skype or a Facebook Messenger. And just mentioning the popular names here. So this is the overall picture will looks like. So user will provide the input, and the bot framework will receive it, and based on the whether it's a speech recognition or Q&A, or if it's a language understanding, it will get those things and search in the knowledge base or the recorded messages or like anything. It can be anything. So this is like our starting point. This is our knowledge base or the information's available place. Here, the main role here is like a bot framework. This will act as the middleman between the end user and the knowledge base. So the channel is something like what are the popular channels like Microsoft Teams or Slack or anything. The main purpose of this Azure service, bot services, like you just create one and you can use it in multiple places. So basically, in the demo purposes, like people will create Echo bot and a Q&A maker. Echo bot is something like whatever you say, it will repeat. It's like whether service is up or not. So the very simple messages. You will say hi, it will reply to hi. So how we will first see how we will create a bot resource. So instead of going to the Azure portal directly, we will see the snapshots here. Because it's like every form should be self-explanatory. We don't have any technical words out there. Like we'll just go to create a bot service, and you'll see. Let me just type only a few things. You'll go to create a new resource and type red tab bot. So you'll see like this, and you'll click create. It will ask for your bot name and the default resource group. Let's say TechMeet. Okay, it's a access group. I'm already having a listen for the bundling. And pricing type, I'm just choosing F0. That's it. The bot template will be a echo bot or a basic bot. Actually, we are not going to use the default thing. We will be just having the source code in my machine or just walk through the source. And it's like a app service plan. The one important thing we have to note here is like a Microsoft App ID and password. I will explain about what is a Microsoft App ID after a few slides. So once you click, it will create a app service, or if already having an app service plan, it will create the web app bot inside that. So let's come back to the Q&A maker. What is a Q&A maker actually? So it's like we're having lots of questions, repeated questions, like let's say we are having a corona is a popular topic in today world. Let's create a knowledge base based on the corona Q&A. So I just already searched Google, and I'm seeing a link here. So what our Q&A maker will create is like if a user is asking what is coronavirus or what is a COVID-19, it should reply with this related answer. I'll just take this URL. You can, if you want to create a Q&A maker, all you have to do is like go to qnamaker.ai. So we'll be signing up using our Azure login. So it's like create a Q&A service, and we'll be choosing the Azure directory ID. I'll choose Fugroso ID because he's the one always give us a free just to explore. Thanks Fugroso for that. And select service. I already created a service. It's like a straightforward. So it's a knowledge base tool. And I already choose the English in that service. So you just pre-select it. We'll say COVID. Okay, let's have it like this. And I'm just going to paste that URL. What this Q&A maker will do is like it will use its artificial intelligence power to crawl that particular URL and split the questions as answers based on the structure of the HTML format. It can even support files also. So for demo purpose, we'll just use this URL because it is well formatted question and answer. You can see what is corona, what are the symptoms of COVID-19. So, and other than that, we can have a question like why we need a AI or a Q&A maker here, because the question is straightforward. We can even create our own questions and create a list of items like what is coronavirus. We'll provide a list of answers. The main thing here is like for the chit chat. Let's say we're saying hi to the bot. The bot should reply with hello or how are you. So those kind of simple questions about service, the Q&A maker will provide us those things. Whether the chat will look like a professional or friendly or witty or caring enthusiast. We'll just stick with the friendly. Let's go with the friendly. We don't want a professional. So once they click this, create your KB. KB means knowledge base. Knowledge base is like a couple of answers or the documentations or the repeated informations. So once I click that, it will crawl this website and prepare the Q&A things. Q&A means the list of questions and possible answers. So let's wait for a few moments. Like let's say what a bot will. Most people will ask questions. How are you? What is your age? Who created you? Those kind of questions will be asked. So those kind of questions will be covered by the Q&A maker. Okay, we don't have to spend a lot of time to just create a data set for these popular words or questions. In the meantime, we will just go through what are the questions that we have here because we are once the Q&A maker is ready, we are going to put those questions and see whether the answer is correct or not. So let's say what is COVID-19? So we'll just see what is COVID-19. Okay, now the Q&A maker is ready. It is nicely showing the UI is very clean, like it splitted the questions nicely. Let's see. The question is what is coronavirus? The answer is coronavirus something from the website. You can see like around 10 to 20 items are present in the first page. We are still having 12 pages. So we'll be having some 20 questions or 15 questions here. What will be present in the third page or fourth page? Let's see. See, as I have mentioned, like it is a friendly chat. We'll have these kind of questions. Can you jump rope? Can you draw something? Can you paint my house? So these kind of questions, we don't have to worry about it. So the Q&A maker will provide us those things. So what I'm going to do is like I'll just save and try. what a save train will do is like it will train our bot to answer these questions, and even if I use something like COVID-19 alone instead of what is COVID-19, it will answer the things. To like repeatedly, it will go through a few questions. Let's test this. For the sake of bot, just say hi first. It's doing a test one. It's saying hi reply. I'm just asking how are you. I'm doing it. The body is replying this. I'm doing great. Let's say some stupid question. How are you? I didn't really age. Okay, let's ask the few created with people made me of code and dash. Okay, that's it. I will go with the question. What is virus? So it's providing some answers. Coronavirus is a large family of viruses, something like that. So what are the I even didn't mention like for the symptoms of COVID, just getting the knowledge base questions and providing us answer. So this is the Q&A thing. So once we have created COVID, set a close button here. I think we should click this. Yes, you will. So once you are ready with all your tools, like I click publish and publish the service. So it's just an example. I'm just showing. Another thing is like I already have a bot created during the free times, like just testing out these things. So already the knowledge base bot already have few things. Let's chat with that. So in the portal, like we'll be having two things. One is app service, which is like the container kind of thing. Inside that, we'll be having this web bot. So you can even test our web bot here itself. Under bot management, we have a thing called testing web chat. So once I click here, we'll be having a similar UI here. So we'll be having a similar UI here. And we'll have hi. So basically, this bot has been trained with some other professional data from Stock 360 product we have. So I'm just going to ask what is Stock 360. So it's providing few answers based on the trainings I have provided. It is a similar way. I provided few URLs, just created the things. I'm asking about memory leaks. So what it will do is like it will search the knowledge base about the memory leaks happening in that product or the services. It will provide the details here. So we created a Q&A maker and published to some app service under web bottom. So what will be the next thing? So we'll click the channel here. So when we go to the channel, you will see the popular things here. Microsoft Teams, Skype, web chat. Web chat is something like we have seen here. The same UI. Even we can embed this chat to any HTML thing straight away. So we'll be having a secret key here. All we need is that secret key, and this will be embedded in the any HTML things as a iframe. So that's just a straightforward. So what will Microsoft Teams look like? Let's click it. So what the current thing will do is like it will open the web chat or the part in the Teams, Microsoft Teams. Instead of using my Office ID, I'm just using my personal mail ID, which I'm using for testing purpose. That's instead of the instead of actually desktop ID. So now it has created the embedded a bot into our channel. So I'm just going to ask a similar question. What is what it does? Okay, it will hit the web service and the app bot, and it will provide the results. So the implementation and the integration was very quick. When we can have similar things with Slack, even Facebook, and even for let's see what's available in the agreement. So here we'll be having some configuration, and we'll be having a reply kind of things. And if you have a Slack here, we have to configure the things like a client ID, client secret. All you have to do is like go to api.slack.com and create an app there and provide the client ID, client secret here. What it do is like it will like a kind of attaching the bot under the Slack service. And what it will do is whatever you type in the Slack, it will send it to the Slack app. Slack app will have a chat with your web bot and provide the results. So the main purpose of this bot service is like having the integration very quickly. So integration nowadays is like if you have running a business, the integration is a popular thing. Everyone will ask like one company will be using Microsoft Teams as their official communication partner, and someone will have a Skype, and someone will have even a Slack or a Facebook Messenger, even if supports a Telegram. So these kind of integrations should be very handy. So Azure is very keen about it. Once you build the particular bot service, it should be easily integrated with anything. So this is the overall picture of bot service. As I mentioned, so all you have to do is create a bot resource and fill out the required fields and deploy the bot, and you are good to go with the solutions. Okay, this is like a default thing. What if you want to create a custom bot? Let's say I'm just going to create a. Let's say we are going to create a Teams bot, very specific or a Teams a custom app. Right now we have a app called App Studio. You have to go to pick the apps and search for App Studio. You will see information like this. This is like a developer tools provided by Microsoft for creating the apps and testing of the things. We'll just click this and open it. We will have a few things here. I will go through one by one. Manifest editor. What manifest editor is like? It will create a JSON file which will mention about what are the characteristics of the custom app you are going to build, and you can even upload the custom app before publishing into the marketplace. You can do it straight away. You can click create new app and fill out these few forms, like what the name of the your app and app ID. App ID is something like your individual ID for each application, and few things are like creating the related icons and something the accent color or like that. So what a custom app will be look like? The custom can be a tab, or can be a bot, or can be a connector, or can be a message extension. I will tell you the difference between these things. Tab is something like the thing we are seeing. We have a chat window, and even we have a tab for different things. You can even embed your particular website kind of a small application as a tab. So the view we are seeing is like a tab. So next one is bots. Bots is something like we are seeing right now. It will have a chat window. All you have to do is like go to that particular, instead of choosing your company contact, instead of having the chat window here, we'll be having a bot. So this is the bot window view. So you'll be directly talking with the bot, and the bot will reply to you. Another one is let's go to App Studio, manifest editor. Next thing is like a connector. Connector will be like all your messages will be sent to another stream of output or input service. Next thing is message extension. Message extension is something like let's go to the thing here. So let's see, this GIF is a message extension. What we'll be doing is like in the reply chat, we need some message extension. So I want to search for something. So when I search Marvel, it's showing some characters. I'm clicking this thing and sending to as a reply thing. It can present in anywhere. If I have Teams here, we'll be having a messaging extension here. All your the icons you are seeing here are called a message extension. Even you can right click some messages and have options here also. That's called a message extension. So now let's get back to the so what I do is like I just go to the code. So this is like a sample code available in the internet, like provided by the Microsoft thing. I'll show you in shortly. So basically, this is a manifest file looks like. So in the Teams, in the App Studio, we have created a manifest editor, and we have created some application. So after you have created a test and distribute, we'll have an option called download. What download will do is like it will download this particular manifest JSON. This is like a UI representation how you can design your app from the App Studio. Otherwise, if you're familiar with the various options available, you can directly go and create a JSON straight away. I'll just explain this. This ID part we have to put. Other than that, everything will be like a prefetched or already available thing. This Microsoft ID is like something the ID of the headboard service we have created. So next one is developer details. It will present our company name or the individual developer's name and the URLs of the website URL and privacy policy and terms and conditions will be having. Next one is icon set. Like icons will be present in the same folder, so that it can be some icon like this. So next one is name of the app and the description and accent color. What color the app background should look like. And next one is again we'll be having the bot detail here, like a bot ID. Bot ID will be same as the your Microsoft App ID. I will show how we can get that Microsoft App ID here. And the scope of the this part. Let me zoom a little bit. Hearing some voice. Okay, that's it. Okay, the scope of the bot will be like this. It can be a personal chat, it can be group chat, or it can be Teams. Personal chat is like a one-to-one chat. Group chat is like a more than two person is having a chat, and another one is Teams. It will make a Teams. The Teams we have created here. This is Teams and one-to-one chat, and this demo is group chat. And what will be the commands? Commands is something like you are mentioning the bot, or you will be like having the predefined set of commands you will be providing actions. Let me show you an example here. Yeah, we'll go here. See, the search will be showing as a default thing. So this is a command we'll be having. So this kind of it will be replying something like this. So the command will looks like this. So another good thing about this App Studio is like we go to the App Studio straight. It will have something called code editor. What a code editor is like basically this developing these custom apps or bot services will be like a black box kind of testing. Okay, you will be having a code in your local machine, and you will be deploying to the Azure service, and then you will be testing it. Like creating this UI and all, it will be like a predefined set of templates. So if you want to create a new code, you will just create or something like this, create adaptive code. So this is the code. It can be a JSON or a C# or a Node kind of code. Let's stick with the JSON, like how your output will look like. So we can able to design ourselves like how the UI can be a little bit feasible for us. So instead of this image, I'm just going to put my image here. So just copy this URL and place it here. You can see it just reflected straight away. So we have created code here, like we will see how it looks like in the Teams. So I'll just click send me this card button here. What I'll do is like it will take this UI and set it into myself in the chat window. We'll just go to the chat. Yeah, we have received the messages just now. So it looks like this. We'll be having images and my name. So everything can be plug and play kind of thing. So we'll be designing our cards and use this code snippet, like we're seeing here in our project. So next one is like a control library. Control library is like we'll be having a library or the various controls we have. We can have buttons, drop downs, checkboxes, this kind of. I mean, it's like a documentation and code we'll be having. You will see the code here itself once you click what a tab will look like or a tables will look like. So instead of going and checking the documentation every time on the website, you can just see the various controls under the codes straight away here. So let's go back to the code now. So here we'll be having commands, and we'll deploy this to the Azure service and see how it will look like. So right now it's showing some error because it's just it's not having any app ID here. So I'm just going to Azure portal now to get that ID. So similar to web app bot, I already created a bot here. Just go here. Click settings. So in the settings, we'll be having this URL, or the messages post to this URL will be sent to this Microsoft App ID. See, this is like a connection point, like between this Azure service and your chatbot. So I'll just go to configuration. So Azure, basically Azure portal looks like a vast kind of things. You'll see lots of data here, like the settings will be placed in the different places. So we have to like keep on having the idea like where it will be having. So I'm just getting the Microsoft App ID from here. See, make sure like when you're having your code in the public repository or something, you should not explore these kind of information. So like this is like a test kind of thing. I will just take this service and it's the session has been completed. So we paste the Microsoft App ID here, and one more place is like the bot ID. So both things are same. So what we'll do is like we just create a manifest JSON here. We'll just go to that folder. What we'll do is like I will just select all and compress this as a zipper file. Because I'm just going to upload this zip file into the Microsoft Teams. So once we upload this zip file, it will become our custom app. So I'll just copy this URL and click apps. And at the end, you'll have an option called upload a customer. Basically, you need to be admin to have these options around, and you have to be in the organization kind of level of Teams account. So I'll just show the demo here, like how you can upload the file here. So I'll just paste the URL here, select this file. Showing app is already existing. Okay, I already uploaded. I'll just delete the old one. And about it's given activity. Let's wait for 3 seconds. Maybe a UI kind of time. So basically, we'll be having a Microsoft app manifest in your Teams account, and you'll be having the service in your code. So how it will get connected, you will see. So it's uploading now to my Microsoft Teams account. So we have seen App Studio, bots, and the manifest editor. So this is like the real thing. So the right side person would be like the manifest file, and the remaining app will be a separate thing. The Azure will be handling your remaining process. Mainly the Azure App ID is the connection point between this your app service and the manifest you have uploaded. It will be like the teams whenever it receives messages from the end user, it will get the app ID from the manifester, and it will reach out to the particular service based on the app ID we have provided. So the app ID is the connection point here. We'll be having a manifest in a different place, and app service just the connection, only connection we have here. Let's keep on. This. what it will do is like I will do a little bit code walkthrough. We need this bot app ID and here the Microsoft app ID, and we need a Microsoft app password. The password is like a one-time generation kind of thing. So here it will be look like this. In the advanced editor, you can see the Microsoft app password. If you miss there, you have to go to this settings page and click manage. And in this page, you'll be having the option to create a new client secret, which is like a Microsoft password. So both things are same. You'll be having. Let me see if the UI will be showing or not. Let me upload it also. I think it's like a 2 to 3 KB kind of file, but still I'm some issue with this. Okay, it's under the uploaded since. We can selfish. Okay, as I mentioned in the disclaimer, this will be the target case. Let's not worry about it. I'll just walk through the code here. Like when you are receiving a message in the bot service, all it will do is like it will process the operations here. It will be posted the order messages you are sending to the teams. The teams will send to Azure Web Service. I mean the bot service based on the Microsoft ID you have provided, and the code will get hit here. So the URL will be like AAP/messages and the domain name /AP/messages. It will be received here, and it will be sent to the next part. It's sent to Teams conversations part. So what it will do is like it will verify the things, and on message activity it will have actions like this: mention me, update code, delete or message all members. So this particular code, what it will do is like will show a button like a message all members. What it will do is like once a person is clicking the message all members, it will get information from you and send a message to everyone in the organization. So it will be like having the card like this, welcome card. This is like adaptive code we have created in the Microsoft Teams. So the UI is here. Like if you want to create a new app password, you can click this new client secret, and it will ask you the expiry time of thing. Okay, you can mention like what purpose you are creating this password, because you can have a number of chat applications deployed in one particular bot service itself. Like you can have a service called a sales, like a sales kind of things, or production things, or like even a customer support. It will everything will be presented the same bot. The client secret can be different. Like whenever you want to take the control out from that particular person, you can use this option. So once you click OK, like this, so it will create some token here and show you these things. So basically, this is like a limits we will be having. We need to delete the old password and we have to create it new. Right now, it's allowed is 2. So let's come back to the app. Let's try once more. Then we can enter the system. Basically, what will happen is like once we have created the uploaded the app here, we'll see the apps in the marketplace, like similar to what you have here. So instead of having app store, we'll be having our custom app here. And we'll be having the app page here. It will show the apps actually. So these are the various things here in the bot service. So you can have one bot and you can serve multiple people based on it. So basically, those are the things I want to cover today. Like you can directly go to a Q&A maker and just insert some URL and you can test out these things today itself. Like it will like all in movies like Azure subscription, and even right now Azure is providing few free subscription, I guess. But you need to enter your card details and those money will be like return back to you. Like it will be having some 6 months or 12 months kind of free subscription. Some around 200 or I'm not sure about the exact yeah, but you can see it. So thanks for joining this thing. So myself, I will be in the Twitter or other social media. So can get the details from here, like efficientuser.com/about. You can see my profile here, like my various blogs and various Twitter IDs available here, and even the Stack Overflow. Even you can visit efficientuser.com. So if you're about to learn something about Angular or web technologies like progressive or something else. So thanks for attending the session. It's a nice to share the knowledge I have acquired recently to everyone here. So and again, you can get the samples from Microsoft, the GitHub repository itself. Let me take this. So basically, we'll be having a okay, this is the GitHub page. So basically, you can see the samples in this page. It either mentioned like how you can get started with the codes and how you can create a bots here, and even the message extension, all runnable codes they have provided. You can see that GitHub here, like github.com/Microsoft/bot builder samples. What I'll do is like I'll put this chat. Mostly, I'll put it in the Microsoft Teams chat. Suhas will be fitting those information, or he'll be putting in the YouTube live URL. So let me mute myself. Suhas, if there's a question in YouTube, you can read out. Otherwise, we can.
Yeah, sure.
Let me see in the mobile also. So guys, if you have any questions related to this bot or a chat service, you can ask me in the chat. I'll wait for 1 or 2 minutes.
Yeah, I think it's time for lunch. No questions.
Okay, that's fine. Then we can end up this session. I will just stop sharing my screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thanks for the opportunity, and thanks for providing the opportunity to present the call.
I would like to thanks everyone to participate today events, and so I extend my thanks to all the speakers to present today, and Kawiko, and I extend my thanks to Kawiko for support to organizing TechMeet360 community events. So thank you all, and if you have any feedback, then you can post the feedback in the social media using TechMeet360 hashtag TechMeet360 and has Global Azure hashtags. So you can watch our community channels for upcoming events. So we will announce future events soon. Thank you everyone. Have a nice weekend.